Now?
All right, I'm going live. Here we go. Okay, YouTube's online. Facebook is sending data. Let's see.
All right, there
Hey,
we go.
everybody. Everyone can
Welcome
hear us. Hello.
to the stream.
Oh, there it is. That's the way to start
This is
it.
the high quality
Yeah,
broadcast you
this is it.
expect. Is this kind of thing where we're going to be eating through the entire show?
Yeah. You're not even going to hear the movie. You're just going to hear the crunch of a popcorn. What?
What
You're, just to be
Room's
clear,
dimly
you're
lit.
not going to hear the movie from our stream. That is part of that is not part of it.
That
You
is-
will
that
have
is
to
true.
watch the movie
Let's
yourself.
see.
You're getting
Is
If
it
you
from
want to hear
us.
the movie, that's on you.
Can people
honestly, if
see?
you
I'm
don't know
meaning
this
to add to
movie-
the. I want to create a real familial
Yeah.
cozy vibe.
Here.
Because
I'm just
when
like,
you're
if-
on the droids, your family. Oh, there you go. Look at that.
There you go. Do you
Look
see
at
us?
that mug.
There's probably a delay or something.
Look at that mug. I
Wow.
love it.
Here we go. Pin to the top.
Guys,
of the
that
page.
Doughboys stream was like the highlight of my year.
If we could achieve that on this, is anyone watching? We got one.
Let's go for
watcher.
24 hours.
No,
We've got-
what
yeah,
we're gonna
maybe
do?
let's just keep this going. Let's just go. Let's
Yeah,
just
we can do 24 hours. Nothing going to stop us now.
How's everybody doing? Anyone listening yet? Anyone watching? We have one
Well, I think-
watcher on Facebook.
Yeah, there we go. We're going to let some people join. We got a couple
Yeah.
on
We got us
YouTube.
watching.
One of them
Ooh, a
might
couple
be me.
YouTubers.
One of
Who's
them might be
watching
me.
the watchers though?
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Well, that's
We're for those of you joining us here on the
Yeah.
Droids Live Return of the Jedi. We are about a few minutes away from starting. We just want to let people join, so bear with us as we begin. But
Yeah.
we're watching Return of the Jedi tonight, and we hope that you'll join us. So fire up Disney Plus, VHS, whatever your preferred method, Laserdisc, and check out Return of the Jedi with us.
It's a rare cut if you have the laser disc. It's a
we've got
version of the movie.
Samantha Cross joining us here on YouTube.
All
Samantha,
right.
thank you. Welcome.
Hey Sam, thanks for joining.
And
Good name,
we are
Sam.
going to be, we've been talking about that. There's a couple of new Sams because we've got Sam that you're currently seeing and talking about here. Now we've got another Sam.
Yeah,
And Samantha, you're welcome to be a full timer on the pod and replace this Sam.
that's right.
Here's the thing: most listeners will know that I'm old Sam, and as old Sam, I now have a little junior Sam running around who's neither a Sam nor a junior. So I've not guys, this is great. I haven't seen you guys in a while. I've been in absentia from the pod. You're very right, Mike, to talk about my absence, my lack of you find my lack of faith and presence disturbing. I
Very much so.
understand. But welcome.
Well, and
How's the
again,
exchange rate in absentia? Is the dollar strong?
Right now,
Strong with this one.
I didn't catch that last part.
well, we are mere moments away. We are going to
Oh,
let everybody
gosh.
know
Look at the
when we're
brightness level
ready
on my
to
face.
actually hit play. We will get started at the
Yeah.
same time and
Yeah.
fire up Return of the Jedi. But for those of you who are new, we are the Droids. This is Mike. We got Chris, Ryan, and Sam. And we have been talking about Star Wars for all of our lives, but a little bit more so here on this pod over the last 4+ years. And we're excited to watch Return of the Jedi. I hope everyone's having a great May the 4th out there. This is quality time. Sam, you do this every
boy.
time.
You gotta sneak it in there. We haven't had
All
a
our
good-
lives we've been talking. I came out of the womb and I said goo goo gaga.
Grogu?
I said
Goo
Goo goo
Gaga.
gaga. Ahsoka fights Maul.
I just want to do a little test. Let's show some new Droids Pod technology we have running here. Ready? Say you want to watch the movie with us, but you're afraid you don't know what time it starts. Oh,
Oh.
look at that. Isn't that nice?
I mean, nothing but innovation here in the
Yeah.
droids.
Chris, you
That's-
can't get that to be in the format of the Death Star coming around the moon of
Yeah,
Endor.
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Match.
We're
You
gonna
can do a little-
time it.
Can we
Put a
name
little
that time
spit
code
shine on that.
newest Sam?
Yeah, let's do that. I like that. Let's do that. Rename.
Well, that was just the test run. We're
Guys,
gonna
I
get
swear.
started here
So we're
soon.
watching Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Ugh, if
Wait.
Luke shows up,
I'm
gonna-
right.
I'm gonna
I
freak.
feel like you're not gonna enjoy this movie as much.
No, I'm gonna cry so much if Luke shows up.
Sorry, that was You know what just
After
fell?
what
Don't
they-
do this to me.
What just fell? Constable.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
Zuvio.
We got some military in the house.
We got some spoiler
Look
alerts.
out. We don't know what he does. We don't know where he appears. Maybe he's in Return of the Jedi. Could be.
All right. Well, we've reached the top of the hour, and welcome to those of you watching across YouTube and Facebook. This is the Droids You're Looking For, a Star Wars podcast, the live watch of Return of the Jedi. I am Mike alongside Chris, Ryan, and Sam, a podcast that we talk constantly about Star Wars. We also eat our meals during these live streams. You know, don't even be put off by that. But we're going to start Return of the Jedi here in just a mere moment. But we want to start things off by telling you that, you know, this podcast, you can subscribe to us on any podcast feed you have. But the one thing we'd love for you to know is that we're going to be giving away some things. We're giving away some things tonight. Chris has even teased that to those of you who joined early. But also, we're going to be giving away a R2D2 Lego new edition that just came out on May 1st, already sold out on lego.com. The way that we're doing
Mike?
this,
How many pieces?
oh, I think it was at least 7,000. So get yourself into that. But we're going to be giving away this Lego. Here's how you can win. Subscribe to the Droids Pod wherever you want to subscribe, but leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. We'll choose one of those reviews at random to be the winner from all the reviews from today through the end of May. No purchase necessary, 18 or older, US only, but you can get a chance to win. So put that out there and go give us a review, and we'll give you an opportunity to win this R2. But guys, how excited are we to finally complete? This is our third live stream. We've done the original trilogy once we complete tonight.
Final
I've rambled
episode.
on to start things off, but fellas, what do we think?
I just want to jump in and just say to anybody who's thinking about entering this contest, like like it better be an honest review. If I see a bunch of 5-star reviews, I'm gonna know you're kissing up. I'm gonna know that's not what you're.
Because we know we're
all
not
right.
5-star material.
I want to see your god honest opinion.
Right.
And if you genuinely think we're a 5-star podcast, yeah, maybe throw a 5, or maybe think about downgrading it to a 4 just for safety, so that I don't look at you with suspicious eyes. That's what I felt was important to interrupt with.
Well, I'm glad. I look forward to all of those negative downturn that we see on our reviews.
Yeah,
It actually ends up
leave
hurting
a
our
one-star review. That gives you better odds of getting the R2.
No.
It doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't.
You
Okay,
can
well,
tell
that's
why
okay.
we're not one of the most popular podcasts
Yeah.
out there.
We're
No,
trying-
you
You
we're
can
can
tell
trying
why
out
we
the new
weren't voted
technology.
one of the top 10 Star Wars podcasts.
Top
Some random website today.
All right. Should we fire it up, guys? Anything you want to say before we dive in to the conclusion of the original trilogy?
Yeah, just let it soak in. I watched New Hope and Empire Strikes Back this afternoon.
Oh, you watched Star Wars this
I
afternoon?
had it on in the background, I should say, for any of my coworkers listening. I had it on the side, and I continue this voyage with Return of the Jedi. You know what? Any day you can watch all three of them, it's a good day.
That is a special day, and
Yeah.
I'm glad we could all be here together for the weakest of the three, but still the greatest
Wow.
of.
This one has climbed in my estimation on the few recent rewatches, and it's kind of occupying a favorite spot lately. So I'm really excited.
Whoa!
Right. Hey, favorite alert.
Wow. I mean, I think that this is much maligned when the ending is as brilliant and fantastic as it is. I don't know that
Yeah.
it deserves some of the flack that it does get, but
I gotta say, I love this movie, and the worst of the original three is still the best of certainly 1983.
Yeah.
Also. Sam, if you're gonna come fight me for what I said, wear a mask.
Hey Ryan, are you hearing that banging on your front door? I'm outside. This video is pre-recorded, bro.
oh, don't say that. You know, Sam, you're just really tanking this tonight.
Sam's
Thanks.
gonna throw
Sam.
his baby at me.
All right. Well, why don't we dig in here? We're going to start this up in just a moment, and Chris is going to get the count going as well,
Yeah.
so that you can
Yep,
start it up
let
on
me-
Disney
let me
Plus or
pull this up
Blu-ray,
here. Yeah.
4K Ultra HD.
Yeah. What's
Let us know how
what's
you're
your
watching.
poison? We're going special dish here, so you're gonna hear some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
know what
what
I
you
mean?
mean
Yeah.
that we're going to
Oh.
hear is we're going to hear that, but we're also going to hear the.
Thank God.
What Maybe we can all
I
sing
felt
along
like
at
the
that.
movie when I watch it and it's not in there, I miss it.
Yeah, I kind of miss it. It's kind of become a part of me. All right, how do we want to do this? Mike, I feel like you have the control, so we're using the Disney Plus group watch. You get to start the stream, is that true?
You're accurate. And
Lucky
Chris,
lady gets to start the stream.
So maybe we count to 3.
all right, Chris,
We'll see how
I think
this
you're
goes.
showing a little bit too much a peek behind the curtain here for the listeners. We should have maybe practiced this beforehand.
Yeah. No, this is all scripted, Mike. The audience obviously knows.
We're that good.
All right, so you
Give us the count. I'll give us the count, and I'll also say for anybody who's tuned in, we are going.
There he goes. There's that.
Chris, you got the ability to block Sam here. Can you kick him out?
Oh, wait, hold on 1 second. Just wait before we start here. Just hold on 1 second. 1 second.
Well, I'll say while we're taking a moment for this 1 second.
2.
There we go.
One.
I fixed it.
Anybody who's joining to learn more about how you can win the R2D2, we will be talking about that throughout the evening as we watch Return of the Jedi. This is given out. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to purchase anything. You don't have to do anything. You repay. This is going to be a free R2D2 that's currently sold out on lego.com. You can get that by giving us a review on Apple Podcasts. We'll choose one random review after the end of May, and you will win the R2D2 if you are that random review. So we'll tell you more about it as we go throughout the night. But Chris, you ready for me to count?
Hey, yeah, let's do it.
Let's see. This is technically the 6th movie in the Skywalker saga, right? So everyone, I'm going to count down.
You could call it the final movie in the Skywalker saga if you took marketing out of it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but that was before it became the Skywalker Palpatine saga.
Right, it's always been a story. We find out in this movie, being that we don't even know his name is Palpatine, and it's the first time we've seen him in person. We find out that this has always been a story about Skywalkers and Palpatine.
That's it. Hey, shout out to Marty from Twitter Spaces. 1 a.m. in Dublin. Thanks for joining along.
All right, man.
Chris, this is the Marty that I had a great chance to talk with. And
Mike has been gushing about this Marty.
I have. Well, let's be honest, because he was fantastic to talk to. And Chris, you would have a kindred spirit. We've mentioned
gotta make this happen again.
You and your craft beer background, Marty and his. I think you two need to connect. And
Marty, if you're lucky, Sam will do his Irish accent.
No, don't do that.
No.
We're not that kind of podcast.
Let's get that countdown going. Ready?
All right. So we're going to count from 6. So everybody get ready and we'll start up here on Return of the Jedi. Sam, the joke. Oof, oh, man. All right. Return of the Jedi beginning in 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. And looks like we're in good shape. So we're going to talk back.
Do we count down from 6 because this is episode 6?
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
That's fun. I like that.
Yeah,
you didn't get that when I spelled that out a minute ago?
Listen, Mike, I'm doing the stream. I'm not watching the stream.
I won't lie, I was a little thrown off by the 6. Wait a second. Swipe to leave reactions. Interesting.
Oh,
I mean, Chris is just
joining. Wants to know, like, I'm thinking this group watch thing is pretty cool. This is the first time I've done it. Had Disney Plus for 2 years.
It's great.
The first time I've done it.
Well, we did say that we were going to do it for The Mandalorian, and then we all never did. So,
listen, Mike, it's the pandemic. We're doing the best we can.
We could have just done Bad Batch tonight too. That would have been shorter.
It would have been certainly more topical.
It
would have been a little shorter. The premiere is 72 minutes, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which is cool. I'm excited. I haven't gotten to watch it yet, but I'm really excited.
Right after this, that's what I'm doing.
Pretty topical.
Returned to his home planet of Tatooine.
Oh, we're doing
attempt to rescue his friend Han Solo. From
you reading the whole thing, Chris?
The vile gangster Jabba the Hutt. He's a wonderful human being.
I went too hard on the water too early. Now I'm thirsty and I'm gonna have to pee.
Oh, now you're thirsty?
Oh, this makes for
beer. I like that.
I think as we start this, though, when you came out of the first 2 movies, if you saw these in theaters, you knew you were probably in for an expansion of the worlds and these creatures and everything that you loved in the first 2 movies. And you come into the third, and I think you start so strong at Jabba's palace because I just am enamored with every bit of Jabba's palace. There's nothing about it that is not intriguing to me and not beautifully done. And I was seeing Ryan's face. I'm not talking about what you're thinking I'm talking about, Ryan. This is a family podcast live stream.
Listen, you know what I like about these remastered versions is that you could still, no matter how much remastering they did, sometimes in like some shots you could see the mats around like the TIE fighters and stuff.
Yeah, it's like they're so high quality they're starting to expose some of the flaws.
The seams,
as they say.
I've never really thought about the fact that
start the rhyming. You know what I mean? Of the first one to the
I've never
third
thought
one.
about that. It does start with a very similar opening shot to Star Wars.
I also never thought about it until just.
So that's what you get here on the live app.
Man, this is what you're paying for.
The password is ST321. 321. That's your password. Ay. No wonder this thing. Well, we'll see what happens.
No wonder this whole thing didn't work out.
Spoilers, Chris.
It's really curious, like which parts they chose to finish completely and which parts they like didn't finish yet.
Yeah. Most of those were like the restaurants and that kind of stuff.
Like there are just like holes in random places. Like you'd think they'd finish one part and then like move on to another.
I know it gets a lot of flack that this movie, returns to the idea of, what's the big bad in this movie? Oh, it's a new Death Star, right?
Yeah.
But I have to say that like the model work on the Death Star is so really impressive that like it scratches the itch of what was great since the original Star Wars, which is like that lived in actual like mechanical tangible world. Like you can see all the exposed mechanicals and the cranes that are used to like assemble this thing. This is a very cool model.
And our first actual time with the Emperor coming up shortly.
So this is when I imagine I believe this movie opened on May 19th, 1983.
May the 19th be with
on May 19th, 1983, there was a collective gasp in the theater, and people audibly said simultaneously in a piece of groupthink, heretofore never seen. This is a story about Skywalkers and Palpatines. I read about it on a trading card that my son bought. That's the only reason I know this man's name.
They call it Sheev's story.
For those of you watching, let us know where you're watching from. Also, let us know if you're interested in winning some great Star Wars gear. Maybe a Constable Zuvio. Chris, is that on the table tonight?
It's on the table.
Oh, literally.
It's literally on my table. Or do you mean it's up for grabs?
Oh,
we'll see.
Now we know that his name is Constable Zuvio because of the action figure my son bought.
I was challenged on an episode that I was not on to get a Constable Zuvio. Oh, that thing just turned yellow. Why? Interesting.
You test that, Chris?
What happens?
You test that out before we went live.
So I bought it on eBay. There's a lot. There's a lot of these on eBay.
So what you're saying is that there's not a very exciting giveaway, Chris?
If you don't feel like doing the effort to getting one on eBay, then it's a gift for you.
Well, and we should just clarify that if you do win the Constable Zuvio, we will give you the figure for free, but you will have to pay shipping.
That's not true. In no way.
Every turn, Sam's just undermining the goals tonight. Marty, yes, totally fine to fall asleep with your headphones listening to the Droids watch Return of the Jedi. That is absolutely encouraged.
I'd be concerned if you were listening to the Droids and not falling asleep, my man. We are not known for putting out what I would call high energy, high.
Listen, I'm not making it past Endor on this thing. We started at 8 p.m. and I am in my 30s.
Mike, I know you're worried about I'm supposedly undermining, but look, first of all, this is old Sam. Look, I'm reclining. I'm on my couch.
Oh boy.
This is an easy listening podcast, okay? This is what we called where I grew up in Camp Hill, 97.3 The River. This is your
Delilah.
your Tom Petty, your Delilah.
Right.
We're just gonna cruise.
We had Star
galaxy,
FM.
right?
That was 99.9 Star FM.
You should have soothing ocean sounds to get you through the rest of this.
Despite what you're hearing
on
now,
Delilah.
Despite what you're hearing now, I promise the podcast is worth listening to. We do talk about Star Wars. We do talk about Star Wars.
And you know what? I promise you that because of what you're hearing now, the podcast is worth listening to. It's easy listening, baby. People love it.
I have never watched Star Wars with the captions on. So the way some of this is spelled out is really kind of fascinating. And times I wonder, will we get the actual translation of some of the languages of the creatures?
Well,
speaking Huttese,
it's not the way it was
guess,
intended,
yeah,
but
we're not
oh my
100%
god,
sure.
there he is. Is that the guy from The Mandalorian? Post-credit scene?
Yeah.
He's so thin. He looks great.
Wonga.
Actually, yeah. He looks a lot better than he did in the end of The Mandalorian.
I know, but he's like living his life, you know what I mean? So it's like he might look more conventionally handsome here, but at the end he's like living his best life. So it's like, what is health?
Best life is being an overlord of a planet? Is that
for Bib, that's not what I would choose. But for Bib Fortuna,
tentacle was in the same position in Boba Fett also. Like when we saw him in The Mandalorian, his head tentacle thing was in the same position.
Is he supposed to be a Twi'lek?
I don't know.
I don't know that he is. I'm sure there's an answer. Chris, you do have the encyclopedia, the Star Wars Bible. Bust it out.
Right behind me. See it? I'll get it.
If you're watching us on Facebook, give us a comment.
He's a male Twi'lek.
Let me. Here. Well, good thing about
that's
this book.
interesting.
But do we want to do the book and not be able to look anything up? We have to make Chris look things up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. But if you're on Facebook, leave us a comment and let us know where you're watching from, what you think so far of Return of the Jedi, and if you want to win that R2, just leave us a comment.
Is this the year that we finally write and stage our Salacious Crumb?
I think we need to get that in the books.
For those who've not listened to the podcast before, we've had a long-standing fan fiction or real script that we're going to write about a Salacious Become a Star Wars story.
I think we could bring it in for under 30 million. Get Megan Ellison on the line. That's awesome. Yeah, Chris's mom made those pillows for us.
It was a pretty cool gift I got.
That's right. Those are from some vintage curtains from the Return of the Jedi.
Don't show anything that you're not willing to give away tonight.
Oh my!
Now it's curtains for those curtains because they're pillows.
Wait. No. No.
Yeah.
Is that Salacious Crumb?
It's all CG. It's a CGI crumb. Here we go. Here's the lowdown on Bib Fortuna.
Hey, if you're... Oh, sorry.
Jabba's
Chris, go ahead.
Major Domo supervises the affairs of the Desert Palace and Mos Eisley estate. Before working for Jabba, Bib Fortuna grew wealthy as a slave trader on his own people and became a hunted criminal as a spice smuggler. The scheming Twi'lek plots to kill his boss behind a facade of, I can't pronounce that word, obsequious? Yes, manners.
Obsequious.
Fortuna's control within the organization and his tendency to resort to underhanded means with friends and foes alike make him a powerful and dreaded, if cowardly, individual.
So I always thought that Bib Fortuna was just kind of this timid but like sleazy guy who was like just an opportunist, but
like a toady.
Based on what you just told, it's like he's a true piece of shit.
Yeah, he seems. So he has the two bulbous areas in his head. It says they're sensory brain areas. Labeling his scary red eyes. And
I'm surprised that they didn't put that in Solo: A Star Wars Story. Hey, you ever wonder where what the bumps on Bib Fortuna's head are for?
Hey,
Jeez,
that's his brain sensory area. And he's got the head tail is called a Leku. L-E-K-K-U.
Well, we knew.
Yeah, we all knew that.
Hey, look, if
one
you're
of two, he's got two, so he does have two.
For those of you watching along, I'd be really curious. We just saw our first glimpse of. I know, Ryan was pretty excited. We just saw our first glimpse of Luke.
What?
Yeah, it was him. And here's what I want to know.
Should we record our reactions to seeing Luke?
I'd love if you guys could put in the chat. What movie do you think ruined Luke?
Okay, so here's a real thing, and I do love this movie.
Yeah.
But I always sensed this when I was a kid too, which is that because Luke comes into this and he's kind of like monastic.
Mm-hmm.
And I always thought, and I still think that this Luke is like the most boring Luke.
Interesting.
I find it the least compelling, and like maybe it's just because he's so kind of like, yes, Father, Like,
you mean just the beginning or entirely?
No, I mean throughout. Something about Luke in this movie like makes me uncomfortable, which isn't to say that it wasn't intended that way, but the way he speaks is just like very monastic. He's just very like,
well, he's becoming
no,
a
Father,
Jedi.
yes,
Yeah, he's
Father.
becoming a Jedi Knight.
But it's like, and
a
this
monk.
may speak. I mean, this speaks to Luke in the larger arc of things, not counting the Rise of Skywalker, which was a marketing ploy to make toxic fandom happy. But if you look at the actual storytelling in the series, I think, and we're doing it, I think that The Last Jedi really plays off this, because in this, I think it's like, whether he meant it or not, whether Hamill meant it or not, Luke comes off like he's playing a Jedi because he doesn't really know how to be a Jedi.
I think that's the intention. That's how my read on it has always been. I also he's like, he's too big because he gets stuck here in a little bit.
I also think that there's a very specific, like, choice to the performance, which is that, if in the first one, it's the
Those
hero's
puppets
journey,
look amazing. Look at him.
He's refusing the call. He's whiny. He grows to be, kind of self-actualized in that first movie, and then in the second movie, he's this raw nerve throughout the whole thing. He's angry. He's pulled in both directions. He's learned the darkest truth he could.
Pull a ship out of
and it feels like in this
water.
movie, there's like a calculated decision that I think is both, a sort of meta choice by the director, by the actor involved, to like kind of go the opposite direction of that raw nerve and say, like, he's going to be stoic, he's going to be, actualized as a Jedi. But I think that's a really interesting point, Ryan and Chris, that it's like, is it performative? Is it he's playing the role of what he imagines a Jedi to be, what he thinks Ben would have taught him to be, or Yoda would have taught him to be.
Yeah, he's got no other teaching.
Because we do see that break, and that's obviously, we're far from it. We just started the movie, but the climax of this movie works so beautifully because the top blows off that performance.
I mean, the veil drops. Everything about that just drops off. And that's why I was curious, Ryan, when you felt like that was the whole movie for you. I was like, I get that. It just, to me, like that moment when the final battle all takes, it's all that's gone. He's lost any semblance of I'm holding that poise.
Maybe
Hamill also is on record as being very confused by being told that this actress was supposed to be his sister the whole time.
Yeah. No, if Jabba is a slug creature, why is he so powerful? What can he do?
What's so upsetting about the ending of this is that Rian Johnson ruined it by making Luke more interesting 30 years later. What a bummer. Like, he just took him and he was like, I'm going to make him more interesting. And everybody's like, he was interesting enough.
There we go.
Chewbacca's hair in this is dope.
Princess Leia's disguise in this is so cool.
Yeah, the voice synthesizer is amazing.
Yeah.
I do want to go back for a second and just talk about the musical scene and say that in the special editions, when they came out in theaters, at the age that I was, 13, 12, whatever it was, maybe
20,
a little bit younger than that.
Yeah.
All I could think about was, this is a new clip. This is something new. I was just like, I don't care. Yeah. I'm seeing something new, which makes it special and makes it awesome. I mean, I guess that's the point.
It's a special edition.
But I just was enamored. I was like, oh, here's something new. Yeah, so every time that happened. So for a little while, I didn't mind the musical scene, even though I knew it wasn't great. I was like, I'm just looking at this cool CGI that they created and what these creatures were. And I was just impressed by the fact that they could do that.
Just a reminder, this is supposed to be Boba Fett roughly 5 years before we see him in The Mandalorian.
Also, those were cut in. I believe those are Boba as well. They added those in the special edition.
Some of the composites are a little rough on the wide shots. Yeah. But, they're doing their best. I mean, it's not like it was the time. It has nothing to do with the artists. They do.
One of the coolest little objects right there, that thermal detonator.
Is this our first introduction to a thermal detonator?
I think so.
I believe it
so.
Is.
You know what,
I knew about it from the video game.
Great conversation with Marty, who may still be out there. Maybe he's asleep, but we were talking about the thermal detonators that are Coke cans at Galaxy's Edge. And whether or not you can actually take those anywhere. You can. Initially, they said you couldn't bring them on a plane, but you put them through the scanner. They look fine. I'm still waiting to get mine. I haven't gotten it yet, and
You're always risky about what you bring on planes anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, pretty much.
I say pack it. I say pack it and find out when you get there. You're going to get stuff by. You're going to get stuff by, and we're all going to be flying before long.
Mike?
Oh, Chris, where did you get that?
I've got my sources.
Wait, but
So
you haven't
now that-
you haven't been to the park.
I haven't been
Oh
there.
my God!
So now that
Chris,
Chris has
don't
shown
tell
that,
him.
that's a giveaway.
Don't
Oh,
tell him,
no.
Chris.
Oh no! Don't tell me. You guys
Not
went
again.
without me.
Yeah, put it in front of the camera as a giveaway. Oh no.
You guys
Yeah,
went?
Chris and I got fully vaccinated about a week before you guys, and we decided that was the time for us to go.
Oh, no.
This was in April 2020 though. No, I had some friends that went to the park
What a
way
handsome
long
man.
ago, and I did not ask for that. They brought me that back. They said I thought you would like that.
Well, that's very
I
kind.
thought you
Yeah.
said you got that when someone threw it through your window.
It was full of fire and gasoline, but
We thought it
we
was one of
cleaned-
the Rebel Force radio guys.
we cleaned it up. Hey,
For those of you just joining us, thanks for
hey,
joining
Nate.
us here on the
Thanks for
Droids
joining.
and
Sup, Nate?
and having a good time here watching Return of the Jedi. We are at, as you can see on the screen, 17 minutes and 17 seconds. Actually, excuse me, 17 minutes and 43 seconds. I was looking at the wrong screen. And you can join us and catch up where we are in Jabba's Palace. Also, we're going to be giving away some fun stuff throughout
Yeah.
this evening. So we'll put a comment on Facebook, put a comment on YouTube, and we'll choose from some of the comments to win some of the cool stuff we've got. Plus, we got the big prize, the R2D2, the new one that we will be giving to a lucky person who leaves us a review on Apple Podcasts.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that more a little bit later. But thank you for joining us, Mike, Chris, Ryan, and Sam, trying to keep this boat on track in the desert. But, you know, we
Hey.
go off on the tangents.
Yeah. What are they?
If,
what is the ship called? What's his ship called? I have the book.
Oh,
The Millennium Falcon.
no.
Sam
sorry.
says she
the
has
master's sail barge. Is that what you mean?
Sam has Sprite and not Coke. That's the new goal now. I gotta get Sprite to go with this. I never thought of a thermal detonator as something you would drink out of. It's very interesting choice that they would make these the shape.
If you want a little backstory on thermal detonators, I'd
So
encourage
this-
everybody to go read
Oh.
Shadows of the Empire, which
Go
I
drunk.
read a few months ago, and they explain who this bounty hunter outfit that Leia's wearing. We get the origin story for that. Shadows of the Empire, of course, famously the Nintendo 64 and PC game that was a huge sales hit, if not
Multimedia.
critical hit. Oh, there he is, Dashy Rendar, baby.
This is gonna be a full on. So this is available at
Ooh,
some
wow.
point tonight.
Okay, I'll put
A
a
huge
comment in for that.
multimedia push from Lucasfilm in
Yeah.
the 90s.
Kind of
Nate,
Features my
welcome.
favorite ship, a modded Corellian freighter called the Outrider, which is Dash Rendar's ship.
Hey, Samantha, thank you. I am so glad to hear that the lightsabers are totally worth it. I cannot wait to get my own, and I'm glad. I feel like people have said they're very like substantial. They're not, you know, you pay a good amount for them, so you would expect them to be. But I cannot wait to get that.
I don't think that Han was supposed to be sweating this much in this scene, but the 80s had a lot of cocaine.
He might have helped
Oh
him
man,
out. I think I do like the detail that he has like carbonation blindness. Like there's these added things behind.
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Like, they could've
Carbonation blindness. That's what happens when you drink one of those thermal detonators.
Yeah, I was gonna say after
I
you have
think-
two or three of these.
I'm not trying to objectify here, just
Yeah.
in the interest of design. I think this is low key one of Leia's better hairstyles.
Sure.
yeah.
I think it's because it's just kind of like it's functional.
It's
Yeah.
practical. It's pragmatic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that they are there. They
Yeah,
were
I
all
like
like
that-
behind the
Like,
curtain, like
watching
shh,
this
be
happen.
quiet.
Yeah.
I like that they were all hiding and watching. I also do think that like there's so much charm to like when Harrison Ford just goes full comedy in this movie. Like the
Mhm.
decision to abandon all performance that was in the previous two films just for pure comedy. He's so funny in this.
I don't agree with that. I think there's more humor from him in this than maybe the other ones. I don't think he abandoned the whole role.
He's not.
Well,
I
Richard
watched
Marquand
closely.
was kind of famously a wacky dude.
Is it true?
I don't think.
Yeah, like he was more
was
of
he
a
famous
comedy
at
guy.
all.
What?
Was he famous at all? I don't know.
Didn't he
what else-
direct? I think he directed like.
Pink
Did he
Panther.
direct A Hard Day's Night? He
No.
directed like a Beatles movie.
No,
Ah.
really?
No, that's Richard Lester.
You're thinking of Richard.
Oh,
Lester.
I'm looking. I'm thinking
Who
of
also did-
Superman 2.
Who also did
You're
Pink
thinking
Panther?
of Soup
Yeah.
Stew
Yeah.
with Richie Lester.
Wow. It's not in the book, Ryan.
Hold on, I'm looking it up.
I thought
I'm
the
looking
same
it
thing though. I was like, Pink Panther. No, you're right.
But Nate, I think he did coin it maybe sweating, glistening, condensating. I think that's fair. I could say condensating is appropriate description. You know, I think they could have pulled the same scene here and be like, someone who loves you is the way Chewie would scream at him. Right?
Well, it is a good. is there something that if he had been able to see at this point, like, is Han just too clever for his own good? Like, what is the plot device of making him blind up to this point?
It's for the it's for the tension in the scene whenever he has to shoot Lando free.
Right. Okay.
So I wasn't completely off. Richard Marquand directed a movie called The Birth of the Beatles. That was a fictionalized, like a narrative film about the Beatles in 1979.
It was a comedy?
No, it was just like a biopic of sorts.
Oh.
But it's like they weren't even that old.
Well, I mean, it had been a decade since they
2 decades
were done.
Oh my god!
Like, weren't they done by 69 or was it 71? When did they?
All right. I have a point of contention here I do want to talk about.
Okay.
When he chokes these 2 Gamorrean guards,
it's so badass. It's so always defining of Luke's character.
But it always represented his push towards the darkness to me.
Yeah.
And I feel like, though, that's not the definition. That's not the way. Oh, good, Sebulba's here, or a version of Sebulba.
How did he get there? How old is he?
But I think there's been an interpretation
60 years old.
that's not the reason he does that. That's not why he's dressed in black throughout the majority of the movie until at the end, his tunic opens up to show the light as he's battling with the Emperor. I always felt like that was not like, oh, that's so cool that he can do it. It's so bad that he's on his way to becoming more evil. Because there's no one who force chokes but dark side users.
Yeah. Well, he's untrained. He doesn't know what to do with his skills. He doesn't know that Jedi don't do this stuff, or Jedi do this.
I mean,
stuff.
I think it's Mike. My interpretation has always been yours, even from as a little kid, which I don't think I thought as deeply about it. But
I agree with you.
Here's what I thought. I thought that Luke was, heroic and very cool throughout this movie. I love his green lightsaber, but I also would say that scene with the Gamorrean guards was always an incongruity, right? And I I recognized it as like, why does he do that? That's like, it's kind of just mean, And I think the implication is that the dark side is the path of the dark side is kind of, it's all shortcuts. It's all easier, and I think you're supposed to be wondering if Luke is, going down the wrong path at the beginning of this movie. He's threatening Jabba. He's a darker, he's presenting like confidence, but he's dark.
And I think that's part of why
very bad haircut on Hamill.
I was about to say, listen,
it's like a hair helmet.
Mark Hamill's hair in this movie has a problem.
But I do want to say, I think that the Mandalorian's use of, even though it is a droid, a force choke destruction of a droid from Luke made me be like, wait a second.
Right.
The character that we saw at the end of this movie shortly thereafter is out there still choking things. And I felt like that just didn't seem right to me. Well,
Mike, Luke in this movie, no. But clone Luke, maybe.
Clone Luke. We all need clone Luke.
Wait for it. Hashtag clone Luke.
Listen,
the captions
we're dancing around the subject. Leia's outfit in this sequence is problematic, objectifying, and also formative, and all those things can be true.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Formative.
I would say the Rancor's outfit is also formative.
This is an amazing
the Rancor
creature design.
Brought me more fear as a child than I think any on-screen presence.
I was always the Gamorrean guards gave me fear because genetically I knew that's where I was headed.
You got those teeth filed down though, Ryan. That thing
they only had the Gamorrean guards. They only let guys from Long Island play those parts. It was crazy. They had to ship them all over. They had to bring them over on boats to England because none of them would fly.
Then there was
if God wanted me to fly, he would have given me wings. All right, I'll take a boat.
When I watched the Macy's parade once and I saw Kermit the Frog deflated, I thought it looked like the Rancor. And from that point on, I was no longer scared of the Rancor. I think it looks like a weird deflated Kermit the Frog.
Oh, I thought you were going to say from that point on, I've been terrified of Kermit.
Oh, yeah. It could have gone the other way very easily, yeah.
And then from that point on, I had a strange sexual attraction to Kermit.
And Rancors. The Rancor, we had the monster toy growing up, and you could actually put a figure inside of it.
And you were like, oh.
Where did it go? And you'd have to go to the store and buy a new one, and it would just
At night you would swear that it moved.
Yeah.
One night, Chris's flashlight fell on its side and cast the shadow big on the wall.
It was a huge one.
Did anyone else think that those were Gamorrean fingers under that rock? Or am I the only one?
That's interesting.
Maybe.
Now,
because there's a lot of different creature bones and leftovers.
What a useless door to just have a cage.
I was just gonna say, what a terrible door. It's a door in front of a door. The layout of this place never makes sense to me. Like, how can they see him from that door when he just fell from the top into there?
Yeah, it's
right. Does that?
I do know.
Use the Force, Luke.
Did they run around the side? There it is.
The geography of Jabba's
That was a
palace
very dramatic buffer.
Isn't super well.
At D in the pod saying
now,
droids.
Did you think? Now, I always assumed when this other guy who terrified me for maybe I was viewing the future was crying at the end. Are we to assume that the Rancor was his friend or like his pet? You think?
I think
was it
like
his
the trainer.
Rancor?
I think it was like he's like the guy who is the elephant trainer.
He's like Tilly Comes trainer in Blackfish.
Right.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
I know it's eating people, but it's mine.
I don't know. I feel like Rancor would have had a better relationship with this guy than Tillicum.
He's sad. He looks genuinely sad.
Chris, is he in the encyclopedia? I'm sure he has a name.
Oh, I'm sure he is. Here, let's look him up.
I think the Rancor was probably stolen from like the wild and probably living a horrible life in that cage too.
Yeah,
just
that's
like
true.
Tillicum.
When's that documentary coming out?
The Rancor?
Yep.
Let's see. I'm pulling up the visual dictionary. Let's see. How do you spell Rancor?
Do you think, I mean, all right, this is the only joke I'll make about this, but do you think later when Han found out about this outfit that he was upset that he was blind?
Nate with a good point. It was actually lovers between the Rancor and his keeper.
Now that's a movie I'd watch.
It'd have to have what's his name, Batman in it.
They'd have like an L3 thing where it's like it works. Okay, it works.
It's all in French.
Oh, his name is Malakili. The animal handler Malakili became an outlaw when some of his circus beasts. Oh, he's like a circus trainer. Escaped during a show.
So it's kind of like the elephant train.
How did you now? That looks pretty. Honestly, like Jabba looks pretty comfy. I'm not gonna lie. Now, Chris? How did you look that up?
I looked up Rancor, and I assumed that he'd be.
And there was like related articles.
Yes, there's a little page.
Look at all those banthas.
This book is worth it.
Now, Chris, you know that you know about the internet, right?
So he.
No, this is how we're doing it today.
So he had a circus where his beast escaped and killed most of the audience. It says
that's a great backstory.
And then
he's like a disgraced circus trainer.
Is that the circus that Jar Jar performed for kids?
They're not really nice about this guy, so they say that's what Jabba's like. This is the guy that we need to watch this Rancor.
Do you think Rey's parents? Do you think Rey's parents were trapeze artists at that? At that circus, and during the Rancor fell to their death.
Right.
Dick Rayson. Interesting.
On the little description, it says his belt is a sweat-soaked rag.
Brother, I've been there.
He's wearing ancient circus pants, and I don't know if we can get this on.
It says ancient circus pants.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
He didn't get new ones made.
But here, I got to show you this. Jabba's pet Hoover below looks harmless. However, at night it creeps up on sleeping victims to suck their blood, using its nose trunk to slither through. I've never seen Hoover in my life. Maybe I can get it up on the screen.
If it's a picture of the vacuum, I'm gonna shit.
There's Hoover. Have you seen that creature?
I don't even understand.
Can't recognize it. Now,
there
did we need
the original Sarlacc pit?
Did we need additional?
Yeah. Feed me, Seymour.
I felt like it was a lot more intimidating, a lot scarier when it was just a pit.
Yeah,
it was way.
It was a big. Listen, like all the great monsters, it was a big butthole in the sand.
There we go.
Oh, here we go again.
There it is. Matt D, calling out the droids here.
Oh God, he found us. I don't know how, but he found us.
You got it. You can't spell circus pants without circus peanuts. That's true. That's true.
There's like a really good shot coming up that I'm going to point out that in the special edition they didn't fix. I'm putting in quotes. But it's not for a little bit. So
you guys don't think that
I'm just
Harrison
teasing
Ford
it,
is
and
just
also
doing
we're
a
giving away
straight
Lego.
comedy? He's just doing straight comedy here. It's all
No.
shtick. I think he's
Yeah,
having a
no.
blast.
There are moments where he looks directly at the camera. I swear.
But I'm not.
I mean, not like gay. Like, stop trying is kind of,
Right.
but it came off charming.
But I felt like we had that in the previous movies as well.
Yeah.
I don't think that he ever felt like he was, not bringing some humor
There's
to
the
the earlier
nod, you
two.
guys.
Yeah, I think he's just leaning into it a little more. He doesn't have as big a purpose in this movie.
My wife Rachel's watching with me, and she feels that nod really probably gave it away. She feels like that nod could have been a little more subtle.
Yeah, when you set up a plan and you kind of give a wink and then do
Look,
this.
we've talked a lot about Han's eyesight. I don't exactly think Jabba's got the best eyesight
Yeah.
out there. I mean, you'd think Boba Fett would at least be able
Hey.
to pick up on the nod.
But at least
So there's the
thing
reveal
about-
of the green lightsaber.
There it is. He built
I
it,
also
right?
feel it's the reveal that Luke is definitely self-taught as
Yeah.
a lightsaber wielder.
Yeah, he's not
Two
like
hands on
really
that
elegant.
It's not as beautiful as we get in the prequels or the sequels in terms of swordplay.
There-
So it's coming up. There's a shot where Lando's hanging, and it's like clearly just like a dummy. I'm hoping Boba Fett.
Oh, there we go. That's a good move right there.
And thank heavens we have, the Mandalorian finally confirmed that we all knew that this was just a fluke. This day for Boba Fett was just a fluke because he's
You can't
actually
judge someone on their worst
greatest
days.
and best.
You can't judge someone on their worst day, Sam.
And here he goes.
Yeah, the Wilhelm scream. You're right,
There
Nate.
it is. Yeah. Yep, that's right. There he goes.
See out of the burp.
Oh, yeah. Jabba saw that
Not from the
somehow.
shape of that thing.
Oh, God. So that was the whole controls to all the lamp shades there? This is pretty brutal.
I
when the
feel like
tongue's
At
coming
least-
out.
this is
least
a gratifying death.
This is
Yeah.
like the reason that my mom used to hate it when I watched this movie.
But I mean, at least the slaver of the movie got what was coming to him.
Yeah.
It's not like they just left it to be and,
Yeah, right.
and take him out and the rest of the slave crew.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Death
You know,
rattle. It
he's
says
been
the
around-
caption is death rattle. I like it.
That's inaccurate.
This guy's been around for over 60 years as we know it, and that's the first person to do that to him. Can't even move.
Well, we do know he's one of many huts.
Yeah.
So maybe another hut was taken out that way. I do think that Luke holds up his hand of far too long for when he gets shot here in his droid hand. It's like, what's it doing?
Here we go. This guy, if he had made it, he should have probably got a promotion. He did a lot of work up there on that gun.
I give him a posthumous promotion.
Yeah. So wait, that thing always came out though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He didn't just yell at the same.
Yeah, Luke is like very unrefined where like he's like your friend who could bowl a 110, but he just kind of like he throws the ball overhand.
Ball bounces a few times. Here we go.
Did we
Yeah,
miss
so
it,
it's
Ryan?
Bodhi
We
was-
I'm
missed
not sure. It's in there somewhere, but yeah.
We're watching the Lego Star Wars parody cutscenes. There he goes. He gets his.
So
Are we doing
in
blue?
our
Are we doing
story,
blue? Harvest
we
after
don't know
this?
if he dies. Yeah, I think we may have missed the shot, but
does he escape before the ship is blown to pieces? That's why
Yes.
House
Of course, yes,
story
yes,
continues.
yes.
Okay, I didn't know if we're doing an origin story
He's wearing
or if we're going
Mandalorian
picking up.
armor, most likely.
yeah, like what was he pointing at? He just like everybody.
Good. I like
I
that.
turned
God,
around.
These
So
two.
R2 new to do this?
Oh yeah.
Now I've talked about this before, and I'll talk about it here.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of formative, and I'm just speaking as like a young person watching this, not knowing that was his sister yet. when Luke, I'm probably 10 when I see this. When Luke
20,
puts his
25.
hand on Leia's bare midriff, I thought, now that looks like something I'd like to try one day.
Oh, man.
Oh my God.
I did not realize we were going to be talking this much.
No.
What do you want me to say? We have 2.5 hours to
The
film.
explosion that happens here is greater than the original Death Star explosion. That's what happens when you shoot the gun.
What a cold open. Now we're 37
what?
minutes into this bad boy.
And now we're back into that same scene from Empire
But hey,
Strikes
you know,
Back.
here's
Same
here's
scene.
the thing, guys. I can't take any time where the three of them aren't together. If they're not together, I don't want to keep watching. Can we skip
Never-
this part? This isn't worth.
And famously, Harrison Ford was very upset that he didn't get to hang out with Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do judge the quality of my movies by how often the main characters are in the same shot.
Nate says that swing's called the siblings carry.
Again, I didn't know that they were siblings yet. I don't want that to be read into here.
Yeah. Here we go. Here's some of that detail we were talking about earlier. So
All Ralph McQuarrie, right? That's all the matte paintings in the
it's
background
cool
from
to see
McQuarrie.
like the rusty looking orange metal on it.
I thought this all was a set. I thought this whole thing was a real set when I
What
was a
is
kid.
it? Wait, what
It's
is
from
it?
all that moisture oxidizing.
All right,
his
so we're
face.
40 minutes into this movie, and
Yeah.
we've finally seen the character who the entire saga's about.
Well, we get.
These are these are Imperial guards, right? And then in Last
Turning.
Jedi, they're Praetorian guards.
I
Mhm.
believe so.
Wait, I thought these guys were the Praetorian. Is that
No,
No, I
right?
Yeah.
believe they're called the Imperial.
Well,
Wait,
let's look it up.
and at this point, Ian McDiarmid wasn't he like 36?
Yeah, they probably just cast him based on the voice.
They cast him based on the voice.
And you know,
Um,
so in Empire, that's one of the updates is they've inserted him in.
Yeah, 'cause it
over
was
the
just
original.
like
Because
the-
originally it was an old woman and superimposed chimpanzee
Yeah.
eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
and
was an older woman with
Didn't she not speak
chimpanzee
English,
eyes,
too?
and then voiced by a man.
I knew about the chimpanzee eyes, strangely enough. In the second one, he looks like a little bit like the flash frames in The Exorcist.
yeah,
It does.
Mhm.
All right, I'm looking up the guards here. Just hang tight.
Of who's his nuts? Pazuzu? What is that? What his name is?
That's a lot of troopers.
Oh, okay, they're called Royal Guards. The Imperial Royal Guards protect the Emperor at all times.
Thought like Imperial guards.
These mysterious and fanatical loyal warriors are so highly trained in deadly arts that their chosen weapon is not a blaster, but a vibroactive force pike. Oh, so like the weapons that Grievous's dudes had. They wield them with lightning swiftness and inflict very precise lethal wounds. The long robe conceals another hidden weapon, but it's not telling me what that hidden weapon is.
Oh, so it remains hidden to this
Yeah.
day.
Wow, if you know. Yeah.
Yoder's sick, you guys.
Yoda's not doing
You know,
Just
it's
kind of
interesting.
Decides to perish.
Those royal guards must abandon pretty quickly when they feel like the Death Star is going down, because it's not
Yeah.
like Luke has to fight them after the
No,
Emperor
yeah,
has
you
gone
know,
over
Yeah,
the
some
edge.
guards.
Yeah, they seem like pretty bad guards. What do you think Yoda's sick because he was eating some weird berries and stuff?
Is he supposed to be sick, or is he just like, listen, I'm like on my way out?
Oh, I think
he
he's.
might-
Dude, I think you're right, Ryan.
Yeah, I think he might be tapping.
He has literally decided to walk into his own casket.
He's like, oh my god, these sheaves, these Skywalkers.
I mean, if you were 900 years old, wouldn't you do the same? But Chris, Sheeves and Skywalkers, he's not done with them, because even as he rests here, he's still got to deal with them.
He's got to come back later. And be
The
like,
next
"Oh my
plane
God."
of existence. Even in this movie, he's already back.
It's true. Yeah, he's hanging out with old Anakin. Spoiler alert. Trying to see if there's any other detail.
Imagine if they had CGI'd Mark Hamill's hair in the special edition. The way they did Henry Cavill's mustache.
It looked like Jabba the Hutt's skin. In the
How much is it
After
going to
this, should we
cost
just
us?
should we do the Justice League live stream?
Sure.
Outpost?
How much would it cost us, Ryan, do you think, to go in and do that? Is it 70 million to do an additional cut?
Yeah. Can
Yeah.
we get in that? What if we just do it for them?
Sam's listening for baby noises. Is that a baby?
So I don't
Do you
know
think
when...
that like Yoda's just used to all Jedis have family issues? Like, oh yeah, your father was a Jedi as well. Your cousin, your uncle. There's always like this.
Do you
is
think
just
like Kit
part of being a
Fisto
Jedi.
is just like, listen, like my relationship with my parents was fine.
Yeah.
You don't
I think it was
know
great.
much about Yoda. And
I mean,
even
they did give me up to the temple at like 3 years old, but otherwise they're
there's
wonderful
that.
parents.
There's that. I mean, that's not going to turn you into a well-rounded person, I feel like.
Do you think Yoda just the whole time is like, told them I did. Told them he was too old, I did.
kind of what he's doing here too.
Now,
also,
here, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, like it's kind of a jerk move to be like, "There's another, but I'm not gonna tell you until you go."
What I'm saying is this: there's another, but I'd say kiss anybody you find.
Give him a little heads up.
You never know how much time you have in a galaxy far, far away, so you got to go for it.
Maybe he forgot.
Get your kisses in before you find out they're your sister.
His eyes look a little crazy in that scene.
Well, yours are going to look crazy on the verge of death too.
Jeez, is that a threat?
Like you'll be there right with me.
Let's see, Chris, what your hands.
Chris.
Let's see what your eyes look like with my hands around your throat.
My head already kind of looks like Yoda's. I'm worried.
Now, here's a real fear I have.
Oh boy.
I was thinking this because we were talking about parenting. So Sam and Mike, you both have children.
That's true.
Yes, correct. Verified.
And you both have very cute children.
Yes, that's also true.
And I just keep thinking, like, you guys both have adorable kids.
Mm-hmm.
Statistically,
yeah,
not all the droid head kids are going to be cute. So the more cute kids that people have, the more my odds of having a cute kid are looking bad.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know.
That's partly why. So that was partly,
it's just math, Mike. It's just math.
When Mike had his first and I saw he was cute, that's partly why I wanted to get in there and make sure that we.
Good. I'm glad that's a good plan.
I didn't want to, you wait too long. Look, Ryan, I don't know how long you plan to wait, but clock's ticking, my man, and that Uggo meter's going up every day.
It's just what do you do? What do you do?
Is this inspired by Yoda?
Are you gonna have a Grogu or are you gonna have a Yoda?
Is Mike gonna look like Yoda?
Are you
gonna have a Grogu or a Yoda?
Have Grogu or a Yoda?
What do you think he smells like?
Polyurethane.
It's just...
I don't know. Like at this point, like he doesn't shave his ears or anything. So
that scene of Mark Hamill like looking down at him, he's like, "Did he die? He's still there? Hello?"
I know we say this in every live, but like, what would this Star Wars be without John Williams? I mean, all the emotion that flows through you. It's not that the actors.
I tell you what, it'd be
visuals
a
aren't doing
mediocre actor sitting with a puppet in a hut.
Oh, there he goes.
I don't think so. I think Mark Hamill does wonderful work with the puppet with Yoda in every scene he's in.
Oh yeah. Oh, and this is the little surprise here.
Look out, everybody! The check cleared. Here he comes.
It's literally minutes before he appears. They couldn't even get him on the set, so they had to holograph him in.
I did see today that after the success of Star Wars, Alec Guinness got an extra 0.5% of the total box office gross. He was at 2, got up to 2.5. So I'm sure the coin was there for him to return.
Yeah.
Did you watch like that talk show clip where they it's very charming. He's like a very charming man. Except when he made that kid cry because he told him not to watch Star Wars anymore. You think Alec Guinness would like this live stream?
So what is he?
From a certain point of view, he would.
Yeah.
He's what?
I don't know what they're talking about.
He's supposed to be 50 in this or something?
Who, Ben?
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, he's supposed to be probably what, in like his mid-50s? You think in the prequels he's supposed to be like in his mid-30s?
Well, he's supposed to be. I think he's supposed to be. I think he's supposed to be like a teenager as the Padawan in Phantom Menace.
Really?
Right, but by the end,
and I think it's like
Oh.
10 years, and then probably what, like another 2 years or 5
How
years?
old is
What do you think?
Dax? Jet Dexter. They're friend. They say they like go back a long way.
how much time do you think is supposed to have passed in the original trilogy, like from the beginning to the end?
Like a week
Oh.
and a half.
5
Yeah.
years?
I would actually, I think it's maybe like a year or two.
Yeah.
Yeah. If that's the case, then he's supposed to be like 45.
Well, because I feel like it's really a big gap from Empire to Return of the Jedi. Like it really picks up pretty much right away with Empire. It feels like, you know, maybe it's been 2 or 3 months and they found the new base.
A big gap between Empire and Jedi? I don't think
Yeah.
so.
I do.
Well, Luke goes off in trains and stuff.
Yeah.
But that sword fight, he didn't train that hard.
Does anyone think that the end of the Obi-Wan Kenobi mini series or limited series is going to have some sort of moment where Ewan or Obi-Wan is going to be force shocked by a dark side Sith user, and that's what turns all of his hair gray, and that's how he goes from and looks and ages so rapidly?
I think they're going to end it on a freeze frame of Ewan smiling at the camera, and then they're going to use like the face app to morph him into Alec Guinness.
Could be like one of those old Gap commercials where everybody's like head is morphing.
They're going to pull a Saving Private Ryan moment with a digital Alec Guinness.
Wait, did they morph Matt Damon's face in that movie?
Yeah, they morph him into. It's like
because it's like a reveal which one he is, right?
No,
it's just the older actor. They just like slowly
But
transition.
isn't it kind of though? Like at the end of that movie, isn't it a reveal that the old man is him? Like we don't know which soldier the old man is.
I thought it was always him.
I don't feel like that was a surprise.
Nate says he thought it was supposed to be a handful of years, like 3 or 4, and Matt is telling us to talk about some kind of controversy, but I'm not sure what he's talking about.
He's just saying any controversy?
It's in the chat. You can explain.
Which platform?
On the YouTube chat.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's Nate is right though. You know, enough for characters to gain a higher rank like General like Han. That makes sense to me. Here it comes, guys. The Bothans.
Oh.
I feel like the Bothans I always thought was in Empire and it's in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Well, I always thought the Bothans line was in Star Wars. I always thought that was the Death Star plans.
Who died for those ones?
Matt.
We know who died.
Who died? A lot of people we know.
Jyn Erso.
Right.
Well,
we know specifically.
Cassian Andor, but he's not dead. He's coming back.
Different. We're talking about different. The Bofa controversies.
Everybody's got a shorthand for a controversy. Just tell us what you're talking about.
Well, I know what Matt's trying to bait us into.
Uh-oh.
There he is. So he just kind of dies unceremoniously, right?
Oh, it's a big controversy, Chris. It's a big controversy.
He gets sucked
Speaking
out
of
the
it,
ship.
there's a lot of anger towards
Rian
Ryan Johnson for that.
But he's in one of the coolest battles in Star Wars.
This one?
No, this final battle though. He's part of one of the coolest battles.
Oh, true.
Yeah, he's in part of two of the coolest battles. I don't know why people be angry. What else is he gonna do?
How long of a death scene is every character supposed to get?
Yeah, right.
That you've built up in your own head canon for 30 years.
Look, if anybody's gonna wink at a camera,
talk about this guy's hair and beard, please.
Yes, this
guy looks so much like Rory Scovel. It's hysterical.
Look at that beard. That is
wow.
That's not hair. That's cotton.
Does he have a leku? Is that? So he's. I guess he did serve. He does have military service under his belt. Han Solo does.
I find this entrance so.
Yeah. Aw, with a hug.
It's just like his entrance after blowing up the Death Star in A New Hope. It seems very familiar.
He's always kind of like hopping downstairs.
Yeah, I like it though because they're like, we're gonna kill 2 billion people in this Death Star. Count me in.
I like how everybody
you knew
else
what you
is.
signed up for. Storm.
Do you think anyone else is like, I'm not sure that 4 people is enough?
Nate says the guy with the beard looks like a police sketch. That is absolutely true.
That is true.
Aw. This one you can really notice the matte painting when it shows the Falcon here, unless they changed it. Oh, I think they changed it.
No, that's
right here. This right here.
Yeah. You could see the green outlines from the green screen.
Now he's gonna walk towards it. It looks like he like stops at a wall. Not a scratch.
Lando's cape is just like a slightly different blue than his pants, which is kind of a matching faux pas when it comes to fashion.
There's a guy. Where does he go? He can only go so far.
Stop.
Lando, you put another hole in the matte painting.
A chance to say welcome to all the new viewers here joining us. We're at minute 52, almost minute 53 of Return of the Jedi. So join us, follow the time code, and join along for the rest of the movie. We're talking about everything in Return of the Jedi, but also giving away some things. Chris, I think we need to decide who's getting one already. We haven't picked a winner for so far. I think we've got some contenders. Who's going to win one of the figures you've shown? And which one is it, Chris?
Figures here. So we're going to do, we've got General Grievous, who's associated with this. We've got a Dash Rendar, Shadows of the Empire.
I want that.
I want the Dash Rendar.
You know, the level of professionalism here. Microphones, eating. Gosh. What am I doing on this podcast?
We're trying to have a laid-back feel.
Hey, where would we be without the reason for the season, complete with voice chip in there? There you go.
Have you guys seen the video of the Mormon dude giving a painting of Obi-Wan Kenobi to his parents and they think it's Jesus?
Yes, no. I have seen that.
It's so funny.
I have seen that. So I guess what we
they hang it up in their house, and he doesn't know how to tell them
it's not Jesus. Hey, and Jesus himself, Constable Zuvio. How should we give these away? What should?
Well, we're going to choose one of the people who've commented so far, Chris.
Well, I mean,
which one are we giving up?
But I feel like it'd be very subjective. Just choose someone.
It is. It's a random choice.
Yeah.
Mike, you number people in the chat, and Chris, you choose a number.
All right.
All right. Ready?
All right.
You got it.
Yeah, I got it.
Number them by who you think is coolest.
What's the how many?
Yeah. What's the scale?
What's the scale here?
1 to 4.
Okay. 3.
Is it just one of us?
And the winner is Nate.
Hey, Nate's getting Dash Rendar because he just said Dash Rendar.
Wow.
M Dash Rendar because he told a good joke. Is it M Dash Rendar or N Dash Rendar? That's good. That's good. Well, hey, Nate, we'll get that to you.
Send us email droidspod@gmail.com. We'll get you the dash.
Get you your
Put
dash.
your address in the chat.
Say, I'm
All
the
we
Nate who
need
made the
is
dash joke.
All we need is your routing number.
And for those of you waiting for the R2D2, of course, if you leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, we will choose one of those reviews at random to be, and we'll put it in a spreadsheet, randomizer. We're not going to have any favoritism. It's going to be any review. So leave us a review on Apple Podcasts for Droids Pod. Subscribe to the podcast, and we'll choose one randomly before the end of May to win the R2D2 that is sold out. You can't get it anywhere. We're the only ones offering it.
That's right.
So
I'll just I'll have favorites, but I won't be involved in picking the winner. So
you're not allowed to speak to us about it because it'll influence the choice. Well, I guess you can't influence an Excel.
When I read the comments, when I see the names, I get picks in my head of who's the best, who's the worst of our listeners out there. And so yeah, I'm not going to be involved in any of the drawing or choices here because let me tell you, Nate wouldn't have gotten dash. And Nate,
wow.
Oh no!
Wow.
Oh no! Oh no! I wish I knew the little comic shop. It's like trap bait for me. They put out like a bucket, like a cardboard box of just old Star. They must be water damaged or something.
They're chumming the Brooklyn sidewalk.
Yeah, exactly. And I just will walk by with my little shark fin, looking for Star Wars figures, just nibbling on them, get in that box, and I buy something every time I walk by it. Here we go.
It is
Chris,
kind of
announce
interesting.
it here. Is the cake topper at your wedding going to be Star Wars themed?
Oh.
And also, what's the filling on the cake?
Ryan's trying to decide if he's going to come to your wedding.
Is it strawberry or is it cannoli? I need to know.
The cake
I'm
is
from Long Island. Can you tell?
It's full of pudding. The cake is full of pudding.
Now you were going to say there's no filling in the cake.
The toppers they're Lego.
Is that true?
Yeah, that is true.
You heard it here
cool.
first.
You heard it here first. This might be a little surprise.
You know what? If you leave a 5-star review, we will pick at random someone, and you can come to Chris's wedding and give a speech.
And here's the deal: if you win the R2D2 Lego that we're giving away, you can put that on top of Chris's wedding cake.
Right before the rest of the droid heads pop out of it.
Happy birthday,
Chris, now I meant to talk about this to you
Yeah.
offline, but what song did you want me to sing at your wedding?
Can you sing the Imperial March?
Yeah, sure.
I'm not a fan of the dust.
Is the cake having a filling?
No?
I don't know this yet. It might be a milk bar cake.
Sam, you are the jacket guy, so I think if the duster's not working for you, I get it.
I want to be fair. I am the jacket guy, and I just want to be clear. I know for any of our viewers, listeners out there, that a duster is a coat, not a jacket, and we all know that, obviously. But this is not to me Han Solo. I don't know who this is.
Really?
You said the amount of screen time. I mean, this is maybe does he even have it in the next scene? I think it's off now. Like that was it.
Well, you can't wear that.
You know what the motivation for this for Harrison Ford's performance in this movie was? Cocaine.
Was he a coke guy? No, he was.
He's famously a weed guy.
He's just a stoner, man.
Alleging.
There's like a story of like a driver
with the pan.
Yeah. I mean, we can't leave the people wanting. He ran. Apparently, Harrison Ford ran out of rolling papers, and his driver came to pick him up. So he just basically grilled his weed in a frying pan and put a cover on it, and then went out to the car and just like lifted the cover and smoked it by breathing it in. So
either Ryan and I listened to the same podcast where we heard that story, or you can consider it.
I was there
confirmed.
too.
I think it was Greg Proops, and I was there too.
Yes, what was Greg Proops working on with Harrison Ford?
Oh, no, he heard the story from Harrison's Ford driver while he was working on episode 1.
There was, I believe it was the same driver.
Got it.
You know why? You know what he said? You know what the driver said, though? Oh, that's gotta hurt.
Fun fact, David Fincher worked on this sequence.
Really?
Very young David Fincher.
Wow.
Really? In what capacity?
He composited the scene.
So he lived in the Bay Area. They were shooting this in the Redwood Forest, and he worked in the Bay Area, and he had an idea, like just as like a young person. I think he was like in college or something, maybe even high school. He wanted to see if you ran like a steady cam for really fast at a low frame rate, what it would look like. So he called like rental houses around town and was asking if they had steady cams and cameras that he could undercrank, and like none of them had any. Like he was like, all the steady cams are rented. And he called like every equipment house in the city. And then someone from Lucasfilm called him, and they were like, why have you been calling like about us? And he was like, what are you talking about? And they were like, that's like what we're doing. Like, are you trying to figure out like what we're shooting? And he was like, no, I just genuinely had this idea to use a Steadicam at a low frame rate. Like, I just wanted to see if I could do it. And they were like, well, that's like what we're doing. You sound smart. Why don't you come in?
That's incredible.
And like work on this a little bit.
Okay, so game plan is the next time they're shooting a Star Wars movie, we all go try to rent everything in LA, right?
Yeah,
or
we just try and guess a innovative way of shooting something.
Yeah, right. We can do that.
Don't you? When you hear stories like that, don't you like lament living in the internet age when like something like that can't happen just because of the instantaneous like dissemination of information about things? Like,
TikTok
well, also there's that old like adage that every time someone like
code again.
Every time someone walks through a door into the entertainment industry, they close that door behind them so no one else can get in. Yeah,
but I know what you're talking about though, because it's like you think of that what John Knoll just went and knocked on the door of Lucasfilm and was like, "Hey, I want to work here," and they were like, "Cool."
Or even like the Steven Spielberg story, which has kind of become like canonized at this point, but like how he snuck off the bus and like hid in the bathroom so that he could walk around the Universal lot and then like did that every day.
And that's how you made jobs.
It's like I'm sure from that point on they were like, we check the bathrooms now, even though we got Steven Spielberg out of it.
Yeah, right. So. Yeah, they should be one kid a year can go hide in the bathrooms, and he'll be our next director.
So is our next live stream Caravan of Courage?
I think it should be. I think that's something Matt D would join for.
I've never seen it. I've never seen any of the Ewok stories.
I think I did, but at an age where I didn't like none of it stuck in my head.
This movie rules. The Ewoks, I feel like there's a very specific age where Ewoks don't work for you, and that is unfortunately like the loudest voices on the internet.
Yeah.
So you end up like thinking, like you end up getting this thought in your head that it's like the Ewoks are dumb and childish and look cheap or whatever. And the truth is, are awesome.
I was easily 21 before I found out people didn't like Ewoks.
That's true.
I knew that people. I feel like it was basically from like either late middle school or high school. I was like, oh, the Ewoks are bad. Return of the Jedi is apparently bad, even though it's cool. I thought it was cool, and then I didn't like it until like I like just drank the Kool-Aid I was handed until I don't know when I reevaluated it, but I'm like, why didn't I just think this? Yeah. Like, why didn't I think this was cool? Because it's cool. Look how cute this guy is.
One summer you read On the Road and you said, you know what, I like Ewoks.
Yeah, you said, I want to be friends with Tebow.
But I think they look great. Number one, I don't think there's anything about them that looks like shoddy in the way that they're created. I think they look really good. They're very cute, as you talked about, but like there's a lot of, I think there's a lot of like reaction of like, oh, it, especially at the ages that you're talking about, Sam, like teenage years, we were trying to be more masculine and trying to be tougher. And so something cute like this doesn't work for you, but they're warriors. They take down the Empire. Now, if you're older and say, oh, wow, this incredible force of the Empire shouldn't have been able to be taken down by Ewoks. Well, I can't do anything for you there. I just think that they're no issue at all in terms of their toughness because I look at them in their warrior stance.
This is like, listen, Mike, this is a fantasy movie. You know what happens to the Empire in real life?
Right.
They win the 2016 election.
I'm with Sam in the chat. Ewoks are amazing, and anyone who doesn't like them doesn't know what they're talking about.
This is also low-key one of Leia's best like hairstyles.
Yes, I agree with you.
Sam and Sam, we should have a podcast.
They just Sam's.
Sam's talking Ewoks.
And I don't mean to diminish Leia to a hairstyle. I also think that she's given a lot more to do in this movie than probably in the first one. Maybe not Empire.
I think she's given.
Yeah, she's given more of an active role in this one for sure. Excuse me, sorry. It's after 9 and I'm 33.
Oh, here we go. That's what the timer was. Yawn timer.
Now, if I'm one of these stormtroopers, I'm like, do you need to put these pouches right around my midriff?
There we go. Which one is that? Is that Wicket?
I mean, but
Wicket?
That's Wicket. Yeah.
And Wicket,
was he thinking that something hit his foot and he's like, well, let me wait to pull the trigger? We haven't exactly seen stormtroopers or scout troopers hold back.
Wicket's just cool with that guy getting lit on fire and thrown over
the
thing. It's like, come on.
I have a feeling the Ewoks are like, those little blue guys in Galaxy Quest?
Right. They don't really care.
They're like ruthless. I think they're kind of like that.
Yeah, there's that.
Guys, if I get an ice pop, will you just ream me out for it?
Sure.
No. As long as you mute the mic.
Just.
All right, Chris, should we give another action figure away?
You want to do another action figure? Yeah, we could do that.
Let's do it. Right. Although those are the royal guards who do nothing.
Here we go. All right. Well, let's pull. We should pull Nate out of the running, unless you.
Yeah, Nate, you've got yours.
You got yours. All right. So this is for now. It's for a Grievous.
Ooh, the Grievous. All right, so I think we're down to
An Anakin.
we're down to 1 out of 3.
Everybody's getting some tonight. Just
yeah, thanks for joining us. You're all getting some.
Han Solo or Dash Rent. No, don't. No,
You already gave the dash out.
All right. Here we go.
1 to 3.
1 to 3. Sam, you pick now.
Oh, sorry. 1.
Sam picked Sam.
Sam.
Sam, you're taking home. You're taking home a Grievous or an Anakin. Let us know which one you want.
What do you want, Sam?
Or Samantha. Sam. We don't know if you go by Sam. We're saying Sam. It's Samantha.
Han Solo. Here we go.
I have foreseen it.
Here we got Han Solo, Grievous, or Anakin.
I know that there might be kids watching, so I won't eat this the way I normally would. That hair just keeps getting worse.
I feel like we just saw the Emperor there. Oh yeah, Samantha's getting Han. She says Han. Many A's, many N's. There we go. The best Han, in my opinion. Snow Gear.
Snow Gear Han? Oh, yeah. Very nice.
Very good.
That rocks.
There it is.
If you press his belly, does he say, and I thought they smelled bad?
He takes a few breaths.
Oh, and I love Power of Force style. So the extra muscles on top of muscles.
Yep, there's some good figures there.
Power of Force.
Look at that.
Ryan, is that X-Wing behind you from the Power of the Force?
It is. That's the one that my original one, I had lost some of the gunners on the side and the wings were bent. So I'd say within the last year and a half, I bought a new one.
I've been combing through eBay looking for that Millennium Falcon that Chris was holding up on the back of the packaging, because that was the original Millennium Falcon that I had as a toy.
Yeah.
And
I was trying to find a Y-wing.
Oh, really? Can't find it?
Well, you can find them, but they're so expensive.
There it is.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I want to find one. I'm crazy enough to be like, show me the one that doesn't already have the stickers on it. Does anybody have an unopened one? And then what the top dollar is they're asking for?
I got one. I got one of those.
I mean, R2's got a tool for everything, right?
Yeah.
There's just nothing he can't do. He's
also, how does someone not fall on that?
He's the Deus Ex Machina of Star Wars, right?
It is a funny. They do carry that over a little bit with BB-8 in the lighter. Like,
oh yeah,
it's very funny.
He would have definitely, if you read the script, Duel of Fates, he was absolutely carried it over. Didn't he save the day with his one long tracking shot we talked about?
Yep.
What's the guy's name who's Baker in R2D2?
Oh, Kenny Baker.
Kenny Baker. So I heard recently, I don't forget where, so it might be apocryphal, but like, was Kenny Baker was supposed to be Wicket? He was supposed to be like the lead Ewok, but then he was like sick on the day or like not there, and so Warwick Davis got it, and then like Warwick Davis, now has like this
appeared in
fascinating career and is in Willow and all these things that like kind of were begot from Star Wars.
Interesting.
Warwick Davis though was really young, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was very young.
Kid. There's photos of him and Carrie Fisher and like. Yeah.
Well, that's why I figured that they might have that he was intentional in the hire there, and maybe I don't know, because he was smaller. He was so young that he was even a tinier Ewok.
Now, there's some real payoff with the C-3PO stuff here. If you watch all 3 movies pretty consecutively, if you haven't seen them in theaters, there's no way you would remember the details of.
There's no way. If you saw them in theaters, you're stupid.
Like, you wouldn't remember in the first one where he's like, "I'm not much of a storyteller," or "I hate to fly," and then all of a sudden, in the third one, he's like telling the greatest story to this group of people that think he is God. It's a pretty fun little.
Oh, there's that moment where he says, "That guy's wise." You ever caught that? You can, if you listen closely, the Ewoks say, "That guy's wise."
Really?
Yep.
Do you think now I'm going to make a false equivalence that's probably offensive, but you know how, I think recently they were like the last survivor of Pearl Harbor died or whatever.
Yeah.
Do you think that like eventually they'll be like the last person who saw Star Wars in its original theatrical run has died?
I thought you were going to say cast member, but even better, the last person who saw the theatrical run.
Interesting. I mean, it'll be on the news.
That's what we got about a good 50 years left.
Because
someone took a 4-year-old or like a 2-year-old, or someone will say I was a baby at it.
How would we have record of that though?
Well, it would be like anything
check
at a Comic-Con.
Stubs.
Chicken stubs, yeah. I said chicken stubs. In case anyone's listening.
Got to check all the chicken stubs.
All right.
The main guy here, his name is Tebow. He's the watcher of the stars and a poet at heart. Tebow has a mystical alignment with the forces of nature. His subtle perception lets him see more than meets his dreamer's eye. He's also a practical thinker, though. His sound judgment has led to his position as a leader with his tribe.
Know what this scene could use? Immortan Joe.
What?
Immortan Joe.
What's that?
From Mad Max.
Villain from Mad Max.
Fury
Road, your favorite
you were saying
movie.
Immortan Joe.
That is what he was saying. Immortan.
No, Immort and Joe. I didn't know what that was.
It needs a Mort and a Joe.
Oh,
all right, question for the droids, but also to everybody watching. If you had one planet to make your own home in Star Wars.
Nate said, sorry, I had to give my siblings a quick kiss. I'm back.
But if you had a planet.
Matt, you got us.
You had a planet in Star Wars that you needed to make home. Which would it be? I think I'm going Endor. I think
Really?
you're not going to be burned at the stake.
No, wait, are you talking about the forest moon of Endor?
Yeah, forest moon of Endor. You're right. It's a very comfy, living situation they have here.
I'm going Hoth.
I'd go Hoth. I don't like outside. No, I would go Hoth. I don't like outside.
You don't want to
no
go
windows. It's dark and
Ryan,
cold all the time.
Ryan,
Love it.
Cliff Clavin said, you'll freeze out there.
One of those bases.
Sam, we got 2 Hoths. What's your choice?
No, I revoke Hoth.
Oh, all right.
Goof answer.
Well, actually, mine would be Coruscant.
Mine would be.
Oh, all right.
Mine would be Naboo.
Is that so that you can go and find all the death sticks, Ryan?
I like cities, and it's a giant city planet.
Whole thing, and there's that garden.
Aside from that big mountain,
and there's a garden area
we learned about
on the other side. You don't see.
And those giant cats.
I'm gonna go. Oh man, you picked mine, Sam. I was gonna say Naboo.
Well, because you've been there, Chris.
Jakku. Yeah, I've been to Naboo.
Oh, you're not going to. You don't want Jakku. What's the one where
That's a nice where they see all the green. What's
that? Samantha in the chat with a great one. Yavin 4.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
You know
That's
what?
nice.
I hear Alderaan's really nice.
What about Alderaan 2?
Chris, you working on your sculpture?
yeah.
I bet Dantooine is nice.
Yeah.
I bet Dantooine is actually very
Dantooine
nice.
probably looks really nice this time of year.
Chris, when we're done, can you just isolate my video? I'm gonna put this up on my OnlyFans.
It's called Twofer. I don't know. This is a hard question, Mike. It's a great question. Yavin 4 is good. Safe from the Empire for the most part.
As long as someone's there to protect you.
Yeah. What else do we have? Death Star.
Oh, what's the place where what's the place that's got the where they kept the Death Star plans at the end of
that
one?
place was awesome.
The Bahamas.
Yeah.
Scarif, yeah.
Scarif's nice.
Oh yeah. Scarif would be a good
I mean,
one.
I would like to see
Blue
Scarif
up
outside of like the military base, like is there
Yeah.
because if there's like a nice little resort where I could get like the swim up bar,
There's got to be. I mean, they shot that in what are they? The Maldives is where they actually shot that.
That
So
was in the inside of Tommy Bahamas.
hey, but now that I think about it, how much planning do you think that Vader had involved with the Death Star? Because one thing you know about it, there's no sand. There's nothing relating to the things he hated as Anakin.
That's true.
Pretty cold, sterile.
That's true. There's no sand in that Death Star.
Not a Tusken Raider to be found on that thing.
Definitely. He built
By choice or not by choice.
He built those little vacuum robots to go around getting all the little bits of dust and stuff.
Well, because if any of it got sucked up into the little respirator, he's got a problem.
He's got a problem.
I love this baby Ewok and its fear. Oh, I love it. It makes me want to go sit around a fire and listen to a droid tell me a story.
I just want to know how you got the movie quality sound effects.
Yeah, I know.
Well, we learn in this scene that C-3PO is basically just a Siri.
Yes.
It's just always, or Alexa.
It's like in a movie when they show like a home video from the movie, but it's just a shot from the actual movie.
From the movie, yeah. Exactly. Now, if you look at Chewie's hair throughout the movies, he's got the most. His hair is starting to look like Han Solo's part a little bit.
Yeah.
In this, do you think Chewie wants to be like Han
It's like,
Solo?
well, you know how like they say, they say a lot of like dogs look like their owners.
Yeah. Whoa. I'll say it. Chewie didn't deserve that medal. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, there's the controversy Matt was looking for.
Right. Oh no.
All right, who has?
Oh, sorry.
I would say who has not one thing, anything who's still watching with us. Comment. Say you want a chance at one of these wonderful Star Wars action figures,
We
Chris.
got one more on the line. What's left? No, we got two more. We got little Anakin or Grievous.
Grievous would be a good one.
Yeah.
Did anybody already did we ask the crew, did anybody do anything special for May the 4th other than join us, of course? The most special thing you could do. The most special edition thing you could do.
That's a good question. Tell us in the chat. Tell us in the comments. Tell us about what you did other than join the droids for May the 4th.
And if you didn't, you could just be like, I went to work. I had a normal day. And that's cool.
Had a normal day.
That's great.
And then I watched these four guys with the clock.
I'm glad we kept the clock up the whole time. I'm glad we never dropped that.
What are you doing? Special guest.
Do people know that we're watching the movie?
Come on up. There we go. Oh yeah, we are watching the movie. Look, a special guest here. It's gonna really make things difficult. Oh.
Hello, Fiona.
Say hi.
To me, she'll always be royalty.
One of the Santecas.
I do think pulling the line from here and using it in that teaser trailer for The Force Awakens, where the Force is strong in my family, and then adding to it, you have that power too, was just a master stroke.
Until we found out what their intentions were 6 years later.
Exactly.
My sister had it, and you have it because of your blood, and that's what makes you have it.
I know. I look fondly back on it when I didn't know that information.
Yeah. No.
I'm glad Samantha's here for the clock, guys. She's just here for the clock. I get it.
Oh, we have somebody says they want a Grievous.
Who could that be?
We want a Grievous? Hey, wait a second. That's Ryan Kutu.
Well, we're giving out full names
now.
Me
doxxed.
Oh,
you know about my feelings about The Last Jedi, and you're doxing me on the internet?
No, it says it in the chat. It says it in the YouTube chat. Everyone here.
God damn.
Your name, and it also says your profession.
I hope no Rebel Force Radio people are watching.
It says editor next to your name.
That is where I live.
That's it.
I live on the timeline, baby. I thought about, as a bit, doing a competing playthrough of Jedi Fallen Order while we were doing this.
That would have been nice.
You know, I checked. You got a 1-year anniversary of the playthrough.
Oh man, it
just came up.
Cotton. What's 1 year?
Oh, I don't know.
No,
Probably
is this
should.
line like somehow I've always known? Is that like, I mean, is that her kind of being like, I always knew those kisses felt weird?
They should have a whole conversation about it.
What if she was like, that's why the kisses were so hot? And he's like, what? So 1st year anniversary is either cotton or paper.
I bet.
But then 2nd year anniversary is either paper or cotton. Now that's sweaty.
So should we get a T-shirt for you that says I played Fallen Order and got 19 views on my first episode? Is that what we should do? So it's a cotton shirt.
Wow. for my wife and I's 1-year anniversary, which was like a million years ago.
Brag.
I gave her $1 with things written on it that I like about her, and the only reason I knew that was made out of cotton is because that line in Inside Man. Does anyone remember that?
No.
Where he's like, how much what weighs more, like all the trains that go through Grand Central Station or the paper that printed on $1, and they're like dollars are printed on cotton. And I was like, I have an anniversary idea for myself. And it only cost me $1.
Did you write that explanation?
Yeah, I wrote.
One side
I wrote on it
you liked about your wife, and the other side had.
It was like an insight in the film.
I wrote on it, "My name is Dalton Russell. Now listen carefully. I never repeat myself." That's a no Inside Man stands here.
So here's the thing.
I've seen it.
I've never seen the movie, and I remember seeing the trailer ahead of something that was in theaters whenever I saw it. And I remember I've only ever seen the trailer one time. And I remember being certain that I knew what the twist was. But I don't know if there is a twist. I don't know if I would know it now if I saw it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd like to watch that movie.
It's great. And also, wow, that's obnoxious.
Yeah, no, I mean, totally. I don't know. I was probably 16 when I saw the trailer.
I'll tell you, when I was 16, I was never obnoxious. No. Isn't being that age just terrible?
I don't know. Less responsibility.
No, like being that age is fine. Like at that time, you're usually like, this is great. Hopefully, I mean, like it has its trials and tribulations as well. But you're not aware of how, like, usually looking back, if I met myself when I was 16, I'd be like, oh boy, this guy.
So Paul,
I'd be like, he's very serious and thinks he's going to do great things. And then I'll have to explain to him, you do great things. You got a podcast.
Paul Rust has a story about when he went to see Paul Rust tells a story about when he went to see Freddy versus Jason. And he was like a teenager. He was like, oh, you're sitting in the movie theater. It's a big, horror movie. And so there's like all this energy. And so right before the movie started, when it went to black, I yelled, if you want Jason to win, let me get a yeah. And he said, and nobody said anything. And so his next thought was, wow, everybody here wants Freddy to win. So then he goes, if you want Freddy to win, let me hear you yell. It was again silent. And he was like shocked both times. That story cracks me up. It's like so funny. It's so earnest. And I'm like, oh my God, I was probably so close to being him, because there were definitely times when it was like, how loud can we be? How, how funny is the thing I'm saying?
Yeah, people need to hear what I have to say.
Yeah.
Boy, we said as we're doing a live stream talking about
right. Yeah, it never really stopped. I always admire Vader's little screened-in porch area here.
It does look. You can almost smell it. It looks like it's a nice summer night. They got a breeze going. It looks like it
has little screens on them. Keep the
he was very appreciative of the commander who brought in Luke, and he's like telling him, "Well done, excellent work." Yeah. And Luke turned himself in. Why is this?
The commander looks at Luke like.
Vader's like, I know the commander had to torture you to bring you here.
Luke's like, yeah. Oh man, it was terrible.
Thank you.
This scene does a good job of like making Vader look so much bigger than Luke. Yeah. And I think that's like
the apple box.
I don't know, like just seeing them literally like next to each other, and they have Hamill, who's like, also, not a giant guy in like very tight fitting black, and then you have Vader like just towering over him in like a big robo suit.
I hate that Rian Johnson made Luke look so short.
It helps that they're using it looks like they're using like a 14mm lens, and they put Vader in the middle, so he's like gigantic and everyone else is like small around. Like that room was probably 3 feet by 3 feet. It's like a camera trick in there.
Oh, okay, film school.
No, okay. Oh, wait, you call you film school now, huh?
That's okay, Chris. I'm just making fun because I don't know what a lens is.
Well, I believe it's an old wooden ship.
Ewokese. Is that the official name of their language?
I guess so.
Not Endorian.
If they showed up on set and did Ewokese now, they'd be canceled.
This stuff is impressive still.
Yeah, it looks great. This right here, where it looks like it has so much weight.
This is just showing off.
It really is.
Chris, I think you need to read Nate's most recent comment on YouTube.
What do we got here? Nate. The tale of slightly bigger Luke. Have you heard the tale of slightly bigger Luke, the clone?
I think we rank so many things as Star Wars fans. I would say this is probably maybe the second best space battle.
Oh yeah,
right.
What was your first?
I mean, the trench run.
Okay,
I think this is better.
Really?
I think this is better than the trench run as far as space battle. I do think that the climax of Star Wars with the trench run and everything that's not been beat.
What about opening Revenge of the Sith?
That's
I mean,
that's the one that
it's like, are we talking about just the OT? Then it's like a different story.
Well, no, I'm talking all of Star Wars. I'm not talking about just.
Okay, then I would make an argument. I think the beginning of The Last Jedi is really great.
I think I think I might put that as my number 3.
That's up there.
I don't know. I need to watch Revenge of the Sith again. I like that opening, but I don't necessarily love it.
Oh, but wait, what about when the whole armada shows up of it's just people?
We're forgetting that one.
What about
I liked it when it was Dunkirk.
Pretty cool. Rogue One battle's pretty cool.
The
Rogue One is great.
And they use footage from Star Wars, right?
How about that chase scene at the beginning of Solo, though? Ooh.
Hey, you know what? There's
a thin corridor, and then they can't.
There's a fair amount of folks coming around on Solo as of late. You could see that out there in the ether.
I can't wait till Ryan's hosting his own solo cast.
We lost our count, but if you're looking for an update, we're at an hour 29 and 4 seconds.
Nope. It just says newest Sam.
I thought someone was calling in.
Wait a second. Let's see how we get that back. All right. Have we been on?
Look at this. This is comedy gold. He's so little.
What's going on here?
There's nothing wrong with hijinks.
Look at his little poopy butt.
Oh, okay. I don't know if we can.
What?
See that. I'm watching in 4K. I'm not sure if I can see that.
Here we go. Reinvite. All right. Well,
you have to reinvite the clock.
Yeah, it's weird like that. All right, hold on.
We apologize, Samantha. I know that the clock is the only thing keeping you here.
Yeah, I know. This is live. I don't even know how this works.
Here we go.
This was ridiculous.
So that was Rex, right?
That does not hold up to me.
Was that Rex? With the beard?
What?
Rex with the beard was in that shot.
Oh, really?
Clone Trooper Rex?
Is that true?
Is that a thing?
That's a theory.
Ah.
I was just saying that the fact that Han Solo's plan is I'll tap him on this shoulder and then he'll run 2 feet into this group of guys.
He's so big.
David Prose was huge.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
He was also angry that they didn't use his voice.
Yep.
He's more man than machine now.
He looks like he's all these stairs in these pants.
Also, who made Luke that little suit for him?
Yeah, I mean, the Outfitters of the Galaxy, we never really know much about them. I guess now that Galaxy's Edge exists, we realize that there are outfitters that, you can take advantage of on different outposts. So he had some custom made.
Okay, here we go.
I think he's wearing that under he's got the tunic.
Oh.
The black tunic that you see on the barge, and that's under the robe in the beginning. So he's got a whole series of just
layers,
black on black on black layers.
Yeah.
But on the inside, I wonder what's on the inside. What's that jagged line with? Let's see if we find out. Mithril.
Mr. Baggins.
Chris, are you going to the movies?
I'm thinking about it. It could be my triumphant return. I thought I got a little duped, but I thought the cast of Lord of the Rings was gonna be there, but it turned out
that was a little weird that they were like
What are
we're
we talking about?
reopening the movies.
Yeah.
The cast is gonna be there, and then the cast is like, I mean, we're not going in person. And it was like, oh,
it's a little strange. All right, here we
Wait,
go.
what is
Timer
this? What
should
are we
be
talking
back
about?
up.
the Alamo's doing like for the first day of their
Oh, we're
reopening.
not starting the movie at the beginning again.
All right, here we go.
All right, timer's done. We're done with the timer. You can look at our beautiful logo there.
Yeah,
so.
he's in the room with the Emperor. You know what's going on.
That was a
It's
good
like we're
test,
nearing
everybody.
the end.
That was a good test, everybody. Now let's start this movie, and we'll do the actual commentary
That's
now.
right.
We are at
Just said
1 hour 32.
The Alamo is reopening, and they're doing a screening of the Lord of the Rings with the cast Q&A, but they didn't make it clear that the cast Q&A was on Zoom because assumedly the cast is like, I don't want to be in a room full of people.
You know what? Shame on me. Fool me once because it was kind of like, yeah, of course they're not going to show up. Nobody's even going to barely want to go to a movie theater.
So at this point, the four of us have been vaccinated. And
Yes.
to all our listeners out there, if you're able to be vaccinated, go get vaccinated. What are you doing? Tell a friend. If you already got vaccinated, get another one. Get another one for the road. But what's everybody's temperature on the movies? I think it's
going to take me a while.
I'll go first. I have no idea when I'll go to the movie theater again. There's a lot, in the time of COVID, first of all, things have been released directly. The entire way in which we communicate and socialize has changed. I haven't been to a movie theater in over a year. I've had a child in that time, so like there's added complications even if we were living in normal times to like going out. But I find myself I don't miss it, and maybe it's going to take going to a theater and having a really great experience, and I'm going to go, oh my god, that's what I've been missing. But at this point, I just want them to continue doing the day and date thing so that I can watch stuff on my TV at home.
Sure.
So it's been a weird thing because I do miss it. I don't like of the things I miss because the pandemic has happened. It's like not at the top of my list. Like it's not like I'm like, what do we need to fix in the world? Number one, get the movie theaters open again. Like it's not like that. But I think it'll take a while because you can't unring the bell of just being like, man, we're all just breathing in each other's air all the time, huh?
Yeah. One person sneezes and suddenly I'm like,
look, if I'm breathing in anybody's air, it's Akbar's, and that's my choice.
You know what? I say all this stuff now, but I'll go to that movie theater. I'll order the hamburger and I'll just stay there all day.
Here's the thing: when someone runs past me on the sidewalk too close, I get furious. So like, I can't imagine what it'll be like if I go to the movies.
So, Nate, you went. How did it feel? Did you feel comfortable?
Welcome Ryan as well. Ryan's joining us.
But I will say,
Ryan,
I will say that going to the movies, if they put all Star Wars back on the big screen, you're probably going to get me there.
So to you, it's more of a like you need the incentive of an actual.
I have the actual same concern you do, Ryan. I don't know that I'm ready to be back in a theater, but if it's time and it's like, okay, the recommendation is now you've gotten your vaccines, it's okay to go. I'd be like, well, please give me the classics, not just Star Wars. Give me Jaws, give me Jurassic Park, Close Encounters. Let's go get everything major
just
movie.
The Spielberg, the Spielberg movies.
I'm talking about blockbuster classics is what I mean.
Well, that's why I got Lord of the Rings though. I was like, I could do this. It's a 4K remaster, first time in theaters in 4K. Look gorgeous. I'm ready for it. I'll do it. There you go.
I'm so excited to start inviting people over or to start going to friends' houses, and I would absolutely watch a movie in that scenario. And some of that is, I guess, trusting people and knowing that there's some level of control to the room that I have like in knowing that the other people I'm with have definitely been vaccinated. Ostensibly, that's how it's going to work, in public spaces. But also, I'm just like the experience. I mean, this has been talked about in a lot of places, but it's like the experience for me has narrowed considerably. Like so much of what used to be going to the theater was like, seeing something on a big screen in, a better picture quality with better sound than I could get. And it's like, well, now, and I don't even have like a primo setup, but now
Would you
it's
put
like
your iPhone really close to your face?
my movie watching at home is such a great experience that it's like, well, I'd rather be able to like cook my own food or order my own food and sit in my comfy chair and have like the people that I've curated around me to watch a movie.
I also think that it's like movies are supposed to be an escape, obviously, like that's how a lot of us use them, but it's like if I'm just like so stressed out about how many people are in the room, like it's not going to be an escape for me.
Right. Well, that's why I got 6 seats. I'm in the middle. That's it.
Chris, I know exactly
maybe get one of those
seats you got.
Yeah.
Top left, baby.
But Samantha makes a point. It's like you do miss the group feeling. All of us went and saw Endgame together, nice. And that was one of the most fun experiences I've had in the theater in a long time, even before the pandemic.
Right.
Me and we went to see it at the same time, but we were not all seated together. I was in a different row. I think behind.
We went to see it at 6 a.m.
We went to see it at 6 a.m. in Brooklyn.
I was seated next to Chris, which means I was seated alone for a while.
I drove into Manhattan by accident.
Yeah, Chris got on the wrong bridge. Drove into Manhattan.
Don't even know where I parked. Just parked the car somewhere.
Now talk about things that you miss. During Endgame, I didn't eat any food. I just had 2 cups of coffee at 6 a.m. During a time of high anxiety in my life, all the Avengers came back. I got so excited and worked up that I had a panic attack and had to leave the theater.
I remember that.
I
missed the entire last third.
Ryan, do you think if these 3 movies came out at the same age that, say, the Avengers or the entire MCU came out for you, how do you think you would have reacted to watching this final sequence? Not necessarily here in the Battle on Endor, the Forest Moon of Endor, but the Luke with the Emperor and Vader would have been similar.
I don't think. I mean, I've been through many an exciting movie without having a panic attack, so that was a isolated experience. But there, like, I do have like very like physical. Like if this came out like and I was the age I am now, like if it was the same age as when Endgame came out, is that what you're asking?
Yep.
I mean, probably. I mean, probably a similar reaction that I had to the new Star Wars movies.
Well,
which is that I'd be racked with anxiety that I would die before seeing them.
I think,
and then I'd have to see them a few times just to process.
Well, I think I think I had that too, but it's also like we got to see the prequels at a special time, and like we're still talking about them on a podcast that we're live streaming the movie. So I think it profoundly impacted us. We wouldn't be sitting here right now.
I was seated next to a stranger at Endgame, and then at the finale, like the ending.
You got married to that person,
like
right?
After the final battle, the way it ends. I mean, I was openly crying, and this guy next to me was also crying, and we were both like we weren't hiding it, like we weren't acknowledging like, wow, this is so emotional, but we kind of like looked at each other and we were just like, this is okay, this is a safe space. And it's like, I mean, I don't know. I'll answer your question, Mike, that I don't know if it would have hit me quite as hard as Endgame, because there is a very big difference in that the run up was 10 years and 20 odd movies, and I don't know that 3 movies.
Well, when you had less entertainment to compare it to, like, whereas, I would be interested.
You're saying if I were the age I was now.
But I mean, saying less entertainment, like going on at the same time. So as in like there was the 6-year gap between the movies, or 3 in between, but then 6-year total. I'm saying like this was the epitome peak entertainment at that time in terms of something
if I
you'd
was
like
my
that.
age now, but it was in 1983.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, gotcha.
my
I
pants would
wouldn't
be
cry
too
in
tight.
1983. I was tougher then.
You wouldn't feel emotionally able to express yourself publicly.
The only
I
thing
think-
absolutely not.
for me
I
would
think
be
it-
I'd be smoking in the movie theater.
Ryan in the chat, different Ryan, would be making out. That would definitely be happening in the 70s now if it wasn't pandemic time as well.
Yeah.
Mac Daddy, way to go.
I mean, that's what theaters are for. I think that's what he's saying. He's missing the making out.
Who sits in this chair when the Emperor is not sitting in it? Is that just there and like that's the Emperor's chair?
Nobody
Like when
sits in the Emperor's chair.
You know
When
who
they're
sits in that
filming.
chair?
Yeah.
Kevin Kline gives a good feel before he falls over in it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
Chris, do you sit in your boss's chair at work when they're not there? What are you talking about? You don't sit in somebody's chair.
Chris,
Do a
do
few
you think
spins.
that all chairs need to be occupied at all times?
I mean, it's bad luck if they're not.
Mike, I think it's an interesting question. And Sam, I think you brought up a salient point because
Thank you.
there is an inherent difference between the MCU and Star Wars because of the rarity of Star Wars. Although that's less so now. Well, now it's more so because there's no movies. But when they were coming out with one a year, but it was still kind of novel.
Yeah.
But like Star Wars is more of an event where the MCU is more of like a
TV show.
But it's also like it's like clockwork. Like you get 2 a year, and I was thinking about this because when WandaVision came out, so it'd been like a little while since we had any MCU stuff. When WandaVision came out and like the Marvel Studios logo came on,
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, I forgot like how familiar that was. That it was like twice a year I go to a movie theater and they play this song and like that kind of thing. Where it's like Star Wars, it's like you're anticipating it, where you're just like, here it
There's
comes, like
build-up.
it opens with it and like that kind of thing. Where the Marvel thing is like it plays and you're like, like I can settle in, like that kind of thing.
And
But
somehow
I think
it's like more cinematic in a way too. Like I feel like
Star
the
Wars,
way,
you mean?
Yeah, the way Star Wars is historically like presented and less like obviously there's Marvel, they're all movies, but I'm just mean like Star Wars is cemented place in cinema. Like
Saddest scene in all of Star Wars right now, by the way.
This is so sad.
To me, the
This is,
Star Wars music at the beginning, this is a bummer.
This is our lost Ewok for those who don't have the count.
The Star Wars music, like at the beginning, like if we're talking about just like something as like simplified as that, it's like it usually was for like people who love it. It's a signifier that like something special is about to happen.
Yeah.
It's just like something monumental is about to happen. Where the MCU music is like more like something familiar is about to happen, which has its own value. Which is like you're about to live in a world that you like very much, and like don't worry, like nothing real bad's gonna happen. Like it'll be fine.
Right.
And even when it's not great, it's good. Like whatever. But where Star Wars, it's like the stakes feel a lot higher.
Yeah.
That's kind of why I asked the question, is that like to me the emotional investment in these characters has always been greater than in the characters of the MCU.
Sure.
So I think if it was that time or this time, if I was watching this story, because I think when the prequels came out, obviously we all talked about being influenced by others who had different opinions. Ryan wasn't. That was good, Ryan. But I just mean, if this story that I had invested in so much the way I did as a kid in these first 3 films, if I was an adult, I think I would have had that emotional reaction more so than I would have for the MCU. But this is a scenario that can't exist. But
see, this is so interesting. And maybe it's because, so I think, growing up, I would say I was definitely more of a superhero and comic books guy than a like sci-fi fantasy guy. And I mean, obviously I'm on a Star Wars podcast. I love Star Wars, but I think I'm more, I think the characters that were developed throughout the MCU, who weren't even at the start of the whole process my favorite Marvel characters, did come to be like some of the characters I was most emotionally attached to in cinema. And I think that's a testament to like the actors and to
it is a testament to Chris Evans. I know who are all talking about. It's a testament to Chris Evans acting.
But I think it often gets discounted because they did release did release so many movies per year, and it was more episodic, and it was more like a little bit like comparable to like TV seasons. that like somehow it gets like dismissed, but I'm like, the emotional arcs of what gets tied together, up to Civil War and then again through to Endgame, like that stuff hit so hard that I think I know I was more emotionally affected, and I think I would be more emotionally affected than seeing maybe this. And I mean, it's tough. I don't know.
I just want to point out
it's also the difference between like movies and television, where it's like people have different reactions to like series finales of television because you've spent so much time. Like it's just it's like it's not just that you spent time actual quantified time. It's like that this started when I was this age and it's ending when I'm this age.
We also have the benefit of knowing that this wasn't the actual end as well. Like for a lot of people, this was it. People thought it was over. I mean, Lucas even said this.
Right.
I just wanted to point out that just few moments ago, Chewbacca made the Tarzan call. Where did he get that from?
There was a big thing because that also happens in Octopussy. James Bond swings on a vine.
Chewbacca is in Octopussy?
yeah, exactly.
And Roger Moore is dubbed over with the Johnny Weissmuller.
This is kind of the
Tarzan call.
The Home Alone sequence, I like to call it, where they're setting
or the Skyfall sequence.
They're setting up.
Yeah, I always refer to those as Skyfall sequences.
Well, they're equally as violent.
Yeah, like those people are only mush.
That one is awesome.
I think Home Alone is more violent than Skyfall.
I'd agree. Look at this. This is just clever. Still never learning that
they're vulnerable at the legs.
Yeah, the design of these robots is just terrible.
Oh,
this is a funny goof.
There we go.
He looked at the camera there.
Look.
Is that the first actual shot we have of a stormtrooper hitting its target?
I think it's the first one.
Is it three movies in?
Is it the last shot we actually have of Stormtrooper hitting his target?
Might be. I mean, you'd have to say that he did miss because he got the shoulder, but
I think that would have hit me.
I don't think I've ever noticed. Has anybody ever noticed the blood on his hand?
Yeah, I just noticed that too. I don't think
I've never seen that. Wow.
I think that the "I love you, I know," recall. I think that would have got me in the theaters. Yeah. I think I would have been very invested in Han and Leia.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, I still can't get over that he's got blood on his hand. I've never seen that before in all the times I've watched Star Wars.
He wipes it on the stormtrooper helmet. No, I'm just kidding.
Does he?
No, he doesn't.
Oh, like Finn? He creates a Finn.
Yeah. Now this is cool.
Ninja kick. Ninja kicks him down the stairs.
I as a kid, I was so confused by the scenario where it's like, well, he's the bad guy. Why are we just letting him sit in the chair and watch?
Yeah.
Like, it's like one of those scenarios where you're not like fully aware of like, there's something at higher power at play here.
That's how Palpatine's weird that way, though. He's like one step away from being like, I want you to call me daddy.
I was also always, I mean, this is one of those scenes that I think it works better the older I get, because like I was always confused by, I was like, the villain, the grossest, baddest villain in the galaxy is like telling you like, good job. Luke,
yeah.
Good. So like, wouldn't you just instantly stop?
Yeah, it makes you a little less scared of him, I guess. You're like, oh, I'm on your side now.
Samantha kind of weighs in similarly to you, Sam. She cried when Thor got his hammer back the first time. So for me, the MCU hits harder emotionally, but I'm not sure how different it would be watching Star Wars for the first time as an adult. So it is. Yeah, I think that's a very good question. How would it be as an adult being, especially even talking about this scene, is the way this feels so different watching this now as an adult versus as a kid, where it didn't really register in the same way.
There's also like
something interesting about like that Star Wars is like, we're watching Star Wars as adults, but they're movies for kids that we saw as kids, and like the MCU is for the most part it's content that was created for kids but is being adapted and marketed largely to like young adults and adults.
Yeah, like they're making it for us.
You know, so like that's also a tough thing to say, like what would my current age react to? I don't know, but I
think there's, to me, the spirituality of Star Wars that has always been part of it in terms of the Force, and the way that Yoda describes the Force, the way that Obi-Wan describes the Force, and even the way this plays out in its ending in terms of giving into your anger and your aggression, and just something that is a lesson that is meant more to me than any message or lesson that's come from the MCU.
Well, And that's the thing, especially with this movie and the prequels, like because like George was at the helm, just and not specifically him, although obviously he has his own special stuff. It's just that there was like an author involved, which is that this movie ends the way it does because like he needs it in order to explore the themes he's doing and like have the character arcs wrap up in the archetypal way that he is working in. He needed things to happen, which is why, and the same could be said for Revenge of the Sith. I think that it's the issue is that this movie when although people didn't like Ewoks, when it happened, when it came out in 1983, it was kind of successful in ending the thing. I mean, some people were mad about Ewoks, but as a story, most people were satisfied by it, and it was an uncomplicated way of ending, which is also the same for Endgame, even though it's a very vastly different experience getting there, because I don't know many people that were like, Endgame, man, they really screwed up the ending. Huh? Like, it's like most people are like, yeah, they really pulled it off. But it's so much a product. And I know that Star Wars also is a product, but like, there was someone who wanted to tell a story and explore themes and give like kids something to hold on to when it came to like spirituality and also hope and things like that, redemption, whatever. Where, and that's why I think Rise of Skywalker is such a failure. Because it's not working on a story level, it's working on a product and expectation level, where it's just like, how do we wrap up 9 movies? People are going to want so many different things, as opposed to like, where does the story end? There was never any point in that movie where I was like, man, they were really thinking about like, how does this story end? It's just like they were just balancing a bunch of different expectations and deciding which ones to fulfill.
And in this like they went into it knowing, even if they hadn't written it up to like years before they filmed it, like they still knew how to end this thing.
Yeah, like, because he was like, this person is like in like the archetypal storytelling is this, and like that's why they need
telling
to
you
end
throughout the movies, like, you have to face Darth Vader. Like, this is what you have to do, and this is what, like, we knew the ending. They told us the ending for several movies.
Do you remember that thing that
you can feel the turn here when he starts to win? Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Do you remember that thing that Rian Johnson posted about like how like people who seem to hate The Last Jedi, he didn't say this about The Last Jedi, but so he retweeted someone they were confused why people hated Luke in The Last Jedi so much and stuff. And like the difference was that people who hated Luke in The Last Jedi and said that he like gave up and like this isn't what he would do, like thought that in this moment that we're watching right now, that Luke had overpowered Vader. And as an act of power, he was being merciful because he knew he could kill him and he's deciding not to. And so therefore that's powerful of him. When in reality, to me, the message is that he knows that the violence and the anger that he's giving into is what will destroy him.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's why he stops. It's not because he's like, I've proven I could kill you, and because of that I don't need to anymore.
Yeah.
It's like he's saying like, if I killed you, I would kill everything in me.
I never understood that people misread the scene that way until recently.
Crazy.
Like that is like
so
that's
clear.
The very big. They're comparing the hands. It's like it's as straightforward as it can be. And then honestly, it's kind of funny to watch him throw the lightsaber away, and people be like, "They'd never throw a white lightsaber away."
Exactly. They did it this explosion again.
Yeah,
looks good.
Really good.
It was
really good. That's a big boom.
Yes, Matt, we have talked about Jessica Walters talking about going to see a Star Wars. We talk about it every week. Me and Nub.
Family Guy famously pointed out that they're wearing Han's clothes.
Yeah.
And we saw in Solo that there is a closet on the ship.
Interesting fact. I wish that I could remember. I can remember what the actual phrase was, but friend of mine, Cliff, who listens to the podcast.
Hey, Cliff.
Hi,
Cliff. I didn't get
that. He's from Kenya, I believe, and he was saying that the things that Nine Nub says at the end of this are in an African language. He's saying like real things, and he said that like when he saw it the first time, like people laughed because like what he's saying is ridiculous. But I wish I could remember what the phrase was.
I was about to be like, that's so cool. And then I was like, sounds like they
Sounds like appropriation.
Sounds like they got halfway and then didn't make it meaningful.
Yeah.
Somehow Vader, this is like the most acting. The suit does a lot of acting here. Where it's like
until they added the extra line.
It's the classic like show a sandwich and then a man with a blank face and you think he's hungry kind of editing, you know?
Mm.
You see a lot of fingerprints too. Usually up to this point, you don't see a lot of fingerprints in that helmet. They let them
well,
fly.
the opening we were talking about something else, but the first shot of Vader when he informs the Death Star commander that the Emperor will be coming, that helmet is polished to a naval officer's shoes level of shine.
I always felt so uncomfortable when you see his teeth be electrocuted. It just made me so uneasy.
I like that he's like. I like that he's literally like, huh?
Why did they add those nose? What was the point?
It's so, Mike, as we know about Star Wars, it's poetry. It rhymes. It's if they added
to make it rhyme.
Obi-Wan's if they added Obi-Wan's yell, his crate dragon impersonation yell, then they have to add something for
Should
for
you
Anakin.
breathe in that smoke that's coming out of that thing? Here we go.
That's what's so powerful.
The labored breathing.
He was weak.
I just got a text from Nicole. The language that Nine Nub is speaking is Swahili.
Oh.
Does she have the translation?
Let's see.
That's the lesson.
Ow, this scene.
This is like this is the trench run on steroids.
Yeah.
Man. Look at this. This looks so
just
freaking
phenomenal
cool.
looking.
I think some of it has been, but not as much as maybe like you would think.
Because it kind of got less and less as they went through them. I'm sure they touched it up a little bit.
I think this is the dopest thing in the world.
This is just crazy. And then obviously
the best level in the video game.
I was gonna say the best level in every video game is. Warren said, "Did we talk about Sam's nice haircut yet?" Shout out to Sam.
Offline.
We did talk about it offline, but we haven't said it publicly.
Cut my hair today, guys.
Wow. Why don't you cut them all?
Who was that mustache pilot? No one talks about him blowing up in the Death Star.
Wait, is this the,
Chris, can you find?
Is this the first movie where we see A-wings?
I believe it is.
Might be, yeah.
I think it is. I was also gonna comment earlier. I like. I mean, you see like everything about the budget of this movie. Kind of being blown out for the last one at the time, and it's like, oh, every pilot of every squadron, they have their own different shaped helmets. Wouldn't flight helmets be the same?
Take out the shield generator.
Fit in the ship quite the same.
You can't fit if you have a helmet that's for the wrong ship.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's like your key.
Look at you can see the mats a lot in that. These shots. See, like on the left.
Yep.
Oh, this General Admiral right there was doing so well in Vader's eyes until that happened.
Weird.
Yeah, but that
stutter stop slow motion in that scene.
That Super Star Destroyer is so cool.
It's so cool. This idea right now of just like crashing the models into the other models is so cool.
Yeah.
It must have been so.
This was a shot that was used in that like intro thing on the VHSs.
It's so cool.
Well, I also think like this reminds me too of what we talked about that Rogue One battle though. That was like that's one of my favorite space battle like moments in Star Wars is when they knock the one into the other. It's like wow.
I don't think we talk enough about Michael Giacchino's score in Rogue One, and the music during that moment when those two Star Destroyers come together is, I mean, perfect Giacchino and makes me
right here. They give away the goods. Too. This is it. This is the moment.
Scoring the new Batman movie.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because didn't he work with Matt Reeves on the Planet of the Apes movies?
He did. Yeah. He's in the Reeves Abrams.
So I definitely had.
We have a correction here.
Oh, all right.
It's not Swahili that he speaks. It's Kikuyu. I don't know if that pronunciation is right, but it's a different dialect in Kenya. And what he's saying that makes people laugh when they watch it in Kenya is he says something at a random time that says, "What are you doing over there? What are you doing over there? All of you, please come here." But it's during like a time of like when it's when everybody's like, "Yay!"
Yeah. Aw. Like, why would he be saying that?
So
Guys,
every time that I am
are we ever gonna find out?
Every time that I take off my glasses with my 9-month-old and look at him, I say, "Let me look at you with my own eyes."
Right.
I did that this morning.
That's fun.
No.
I think the head thing is more like whatever the helmet version of bed sores is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I can speak from a family member who's wearing a helmet a lot these days. That does happen.
Oh
Wow.
man.
Oh.
Not to the same degree. But
Wow.
Is wearing a lot of helmets these days.
For those uninformed, I have a 9-month-old who needs a helmet. Pretty common among young kids for a short period of time. But thankfully, that helmet is painted to look like a Star Wars helmet, so it's all.
Nicole was saying how cute it was today, like how cute the helmet was. She said, why is Mike's son always wearing a fun hat? I said it's a helmet, but it looks like a fun hat.
That's you paint it to make it fun rather than having to look at a white thing that reminds you of a bad pediatrician.
What it reminds me of, it looks like a sparring helmet, like boxers train with.
It does.
Well, you do make them bang their heads together, don't you, Mike?
All the time.
Well, it's just like it's kind
the
of
only
funny
way to
'cause
get
it's
tough.
antithetical to what you'd want them to be doing.
Here we go. Now I understand how they built this Death Star so fast. Just look at that. How much space is in the middle of that.
Yeah, it's like when you get an ice cream cup and the middle's hollow.
Yeah. Come on. There he is.
Oh, we're closing in on the end here. Just another reminder: if you want to win the R2D2, the out of stock R2 from brand new one, just a beautiful one, 7,000 pieces, I believe, something around that range.
Solid gold.
Yeah. We are going to give it away to anybody who leaves us a review on Apple Podcast. We'll choose one random review throughout the month of May, and you will have a chance to win. So give that a shot and write us a nice review. Tell us how much you love this live show.
Favorites, so I will not be choosing the winner.
And this will be archived, yes. So people, if they weren't able to watch live, will be able to.
And we're also going to mention the giveaway on the upcoming podcast episodes as well. So there'll be more details, but we will let whoever knows. We have this, and again, it's out of stock, so you can't get it anywhere else but the Droids.
Yeah.
If you just
There's only one piece missing, but we won't tell you which one.
If you just Google Lego R2D2, it's the one in the news.
Yeah,
it's cool.
It's the one.
It's the one that'll be surely on the Today Show tomorrow. Them talking about how the droid heads are giving one away.
Mm-hmm.
Don't call me Shirley.
Now there's where Han's really just not getting it.
You think this isn't a good Harrison Ford performance? I think he's all in.
I also think though she's not making it easy.
No, she's really not.
Where she's seeing that he's not getting it.
Yeah, exactly. And she's
I think it's not the same thing he was doing in the previous movies.
I don't think that Harrison Ford respected this movie as much as he respected the last one.
Oh yeah,
he respected this movie as much as he respected how much credit and payment he was getting for Indiana Jones.
But he also when Empire came out, he was stoked on it. Like he was really
ownership.
happy with that movie.
He's doing like 2 movies at this time, really.
Like he's like got authorship over Indy.
Yeah, he loves Indy.
He makes so much from those movies. And Harrison Ford, who's a wonderfully charismatic and talented actor, and who I think does show up to work and like turn in good performances, I think really likes to get paid.
So what you're saying is he's much more interested in his reward and his reward he will receive.
I do think that, and I think that's a little bit lost in this movie.
Well, that's how his character started.
I love that they brought back the helmet and the melted helmet. I don't care how Kylo got it. I just liked it.
I like it.
I mean,
I would like to know how they got the lightsaber, though.
Yeah,
I think all the setup in those first 2 movies is great. What's so frustrating is that it's abandoned. You know, they abandoned. Like Ryan, you were saying that the problem with the Rise of Skywalker is how they're trying to kind of algorithmically find a way to appease the most people. But like, I think even beyond that, and it's not that they aren't making story driven choices. It's that they're actively abandoning and ignoring.
Yeah, our first look at Coruscant here.
Story choices.
This was it.
I agree, Sam.
This was like the prequel tease.
Thank you.
Yep. But we needed the Yub Nub song.
Yeah, I know.
Does everybody know it by heart? Should we just go into
that's
it?
where I'm living. That's my home.
You
So
got your
now,
Gungans on
we saw
top.
this Naboo before Naboo was Naboo.
So yeah, this is Coruscant.
Oh,
What you
I
were
was saying Cloud
reacting
City.
to is
Oh,
Cloud
yeah.
City.
You're right.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I knew
Cloud
Coruscant was coming
City,
up. They take
Bespin
the
would have been a
statue
good
down
one.
here.
That would have been a good place to
Bespin
live.
would be good, yeah.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for all the military coups.
Yeah.
What's cool about Coruscant, I never noticed that they're like tearing down a statue, which
Yeah.
means that like
Yeah.
Coruscant's been occupied.
Yes.
I mean, I guess it's like the Imperial Senate is technically the Empire. It's like, so it's like.
Well, the Chancellor has all the power.
Now this is a
Did any-
different song than what was played in the original, right?
Yeah, it's the
Yes.
Yub Nubbas of what I was talking about.
Oh yeah, I
Yub
usually
Nub,
don't listen
Dub
to you
Dub,
talk.
celebrate the life.
Did anybody else ever watch the movies and be like, as it was coming to a close, trying to just be like, oh, I got to
Loved
really
it.
savor every moment because
Yeah,
I
of
won't be
course.
with these characters again
Yeah.
anytime soon?
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, I would just start the movie again, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, just rewinding the VHS tape, that would take a long time. So it's
Yeah.
like that felt like a.
You can go get a snack while it rewound.
there you go.
Chris, were you saying you love the helmet playing?
I love the. Gung, 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 gung. There we go. I like the end when they're all kind of
I
like.
think that Luke should have kissed Han just to like make it all. Just so
Yeah.
they
It looked
were
like
all
he
Why
just
not?
tried to kiss Wedge a little, and Wedge was like, "No."
No.
kissing.
There he goes. Wedge is like, "Who are you? We're friends from."
Nice flying, Lando.
Hey. Oh.
Oh, what's he looking at?
Oh.
He's making a face.
Hey.
Oh,
Oh.
thank God they replaced
HC.
that guy.
Little Italy. Little Italy.
I mean, it does make more sense.
I do think it actually.
I
Wait,
mean, it
that's a
does.
joke,
If you're
right?
going to replace the Emperor in.
I
It's not a joke. I think it makes more sense.
I love this scene.
I
love
like
this.
the. So
Look
I
at this.
actually.
Lando's
I-
clapping.
I like the idea though of when it was the original.
Yay.
When it was the original actor who was in the makeup there at the end.
Because
There's
he was
something-
redeemed.
There's something nice about it's like this is who he would have been. I get
Yeah.
I think you can make a sound case for either,
You
right?
know,
either
It
way.
makes more sense. But I kind of miss that touch of like, oh, what if you as a fan, if you
They-
watch these in sequence like chronology, if you could see then like, oh, this is what he would have become.
They really,
I agree. Actually, I think it plays more into the theme if it's the old guy, because it's
They
like
really also,
it's implying that even though he came
Yeah.
around at the end, that it was still like he could still be
Yeah.
counted as a Jedi.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like his journey was complete as a Jedi.
unless
The real prodigal son thing.
unless the intent now is that he's been like preserved in his suit from that state that we see him from Anakin.
But we know that's not true.
But we know that's not true. So the next step would be to replace his head on that.
Who's
thing.
excited for Hayden to come back, guys?
I like it. I'm
I'm
in.
into it. I hope that they do like the no helmet like comic book Vader. where
Yeah.
he's-
Oh, yeah.
Kind of have a
Well, you got to give him a chance to act. I mean, because
Or it
really,
looks
what
like
else is Hayden going to
freaky.
do? I guess it's all going to be flashbacks to the business on Captain Amonia.
I
right?
mean, it's either going to
doesn't-
be
doesn't
going to be flashbacks or Force Ghosts, or we're going to see a cool version of Vader that's like not yet maybe fully formed or unhelmeted or something.
I wonder how they would, but if they did that, unhelmeted definitely, but because we saw him in his full form at the end of Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Well, we
this
did.
is cool.
guys.
If you're on Disney Plus, this is cool.
Yeah, they have
Yeah, they-
Cole Thompson, way to go.
unique
kinda-
art for all movies
Yeah.
For
Very
Star
cool.
Wars Day.
And I think
You can go through and
we'd
check 'em
be
out.
amiss if we didn't mention all the cool new stuff that's on Disney Plus for May the 4th. We have the Bad Batch. We've got a cool Simpsons thing, which I'm really excited to watch. What is it?
I watched it. Yeah.
The Force Awakens from a Nap. Very excited to watch that. And there's something else. What's Biorhythms? Is that a new thing?
So you can go for 18 minutes and kind of slowly pan over planets from Star Wars,
Oh, that's cool.
which is a cool
that.
thing.
Aren't there
That's
like
fun.
ship fly-throughs or something?
Yeah, I think there's only for the Falcon and Star Destroyer,
That's
Very
cool.
which and those are shorter. But yeah, the Simpsons one is the Force Awakens from its nap, and it's Maggie. It's not bad. I watched it. It's all right.
All right.
Glowing
Those
endorsement.
things are usually cute enough.
Yeah.
For a
Exactly.
few laughs.
And then we got the Clone Wars final season. Bad Batch. Excited for that. I might fire that up right after this.
Yeah.
Guys,
Well,
here's what we're saying. Chris is gonna be up all night. Are you gonna be up all night With Chris?
Chris is staying. The
Here's
rest
the
of us may
thing.
go to bed, but
If you turn on at 2 a.m., if you turn on a YouTube video called E3 Reaction Twilight Princess, chances are Chris is also watching it.
I'm watching it at that moment. I try to get that one once a week. Just let you feel alive.
If you're saying, I wonder if anyone else in the world is watching the same video right now,
Yeah,
Chris
I'm
is.
20 of those 50 views. So
well, guys, we did it.
Hey,
We've
we
watched
did
the original trilogy now live. Hey, thank you to everybody who joined us for all of this.
Let's recap what we gave away here.
We've got 3 winners. Of course, email us droidspod@gmail.com if you're not direct messaging us to get your winnings. We've got the Dash Rendar. Grievous went out as well on a Han Solo.
Yeah, we got Dash Rendar, Han Solo, and the Grievous, you said?
Oh, wait, did Grievous not go out? Am I
I
making
said I want a Grievous.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So that's it. 2 lucky winners. We could save those for the next round, next movie, next year. So at this rate, 10 years
Next
from now,
year.
we'll be done.
We did parts 1 and 2 last spring, and now we're moving into summer. A year later, we finished part 3.
Yeah.
We'll just keep going strong. But upcoming on the droids.
My tweet for this got a like by the Spoon Man Mike Mitchell himself.
Oh,
Hey, all right.
Mitchy Two Spoons, Mr. Slice.
Nice.
Well, we have some fun coming up for the droids. We're going to do some Clone Wars episodes. We'll get to Bad Batch. I think probably from the group of guys who's actually seen all caught up. I'm not ready for it myself. I'm excited about it. I think Bad Batch looks fantastic. But we're going to do some of those discussions. The High Republic, we're going to wrap up the first book, Light of the Jedi, with our final chapter. And then we'll do maybe one episode on some of the other books before the new release in June.
Right.
What else do we have in store, guys? What else should we dive into? I think we have a good amount that we want to start to cover over the next few months. And then, hey, we're going to get a lot closer to the Book of Boba Fett, the next bit of live action Star Wars. And of course, we'll do the Bad Batch like we talked about.
And then, of course, Episode 9, Star Wars. We're excited to see how this whole thing ends.
I'd like to, maybe we could get some outposts in.
Yeah.
We talked about, you guys did a previous kaiju outpost, but we've got the Kong vs. Godzilla's come out since then. Yeah. We could do a little revisit because I've gotten caught up now. We could obviously,
and Mike, you're caught up also, aren't you?
Yes.
We could do
you completed the Zillaverse.
I did. And we should get some of those outposts. We'd love to hear what listeners think about which ones you like, and we can kind of dive in deeper on some of those.
Yeah, what do you guys want to hear from an outpost?
We're going to need a whole series.
What do you guys want to hear from us non-Star Wars related from an outpost?
I think they heard a good amount tonight.
No, this is our commentary track. If you sync this up and play it backwards with Return of the Jedi, it all makes sense.
Yeah, then you hear Dark Side of the Moon.
Well, let us know. Email us, droidspod@gmail.com. You can follow us, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. You're watching us here on YouTube. Fallen Order, make sure you check that out. Don't miss it. TikTok, of course, you can see us there. But thank you again for joining us. This is a fun way to spend May the 4th. Yeah. I wouldn't have it any other way than hanging with the droids. You know, maybe Sam can stop doing these Star Trek things, but otherwise, I guess
he did the big 3. He got Star Trek, James Bond, and the other guy.
Yeah, you got the bat in there.
Batman
I mentioned Giacchino. Don't worry.
Yeah.
doing the score for the Batman.
No,
any closing words, or are we're just all on to our next Star Wars watch for the night?
The only closing words we can say here is, well, first off, it's always an honor and pleasure to watch Star Wars with you. Moments are rare, but they're always great. And may the 4th be with you guys and with everyone watching.
Annie?
Annie? All right, I have got to figure out how to turn this off.
We'll sit here.
Please hang with